Hello and welcome to episode 221 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And I'm Jacob Hamill.
Still not a special guest. You're still a member. It doesn't
Demoted.
it doesn't matter how long away you still a member, Jacob Hamill. How you doing?
I'm good. It's crazy to be back.
Very nice to have you back at this table, away from Boston.
Oh yeah.
Feels good. Feels very, very good. We'll just have to get Will. I don't know when the last time we podcast in person with Will, but it's been a very long time. It's been a very long time.
Oh me, oh my.
And then all of us together, it's just, I don't know. It's never happened. One day.
The universe cannot handle it.
No, I don't think so. There's literally not enough space at the table.
We will just you'll just see on your Twitch stream like a black hole just form in this table, and then soon all life in the universe will be gone.
Yeah, you'll know when that happens. When the end times come, you'll know what.
Well, I was trying to think legitimately. Has Will ever been to this house?
Not maybe I don't think this house now.
So like 3 years.
Yep.
It's the
Yep. But the betting specials is keeping it alive, Jeff.
Yep.
This is keeping the everyone alive. Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, I am getting close to being done with tallying those results. Don't have too much more, and then it will just come down to when everyone has time to record, mainly me. In my work schedule, but yeah, we'll figure it out and hopefully get that soon.
Hell yeah. See the results of that. That will be a lot of fun. But we got some games to talk about this week. Finally going to talk about Elden Ring with Jacob. That's going to be very, very, very fun. But first, Jeff, you've been on your anime bullshit.
Always on my anime bullshit. This anime bullshit in particular is AI, the Somnium Files, nirvanA Initiative.
Let's just the name. Just AI, the Somnium Files, nirvanA Initiative. That is like,
you notice in nirvanA Initiative, the A at the end of nirvanA and the I initiative are capitalized. Ooh. Get it, AI?
Oh.
Get it, Dirt.
Very, very clever. I didn't get it, Jeff, so I'm glad you explained it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you see, letters.
They already have AI in the names. I'm like, they can't put AI twice. That'd just be ridiculous, but they did it. They figured it out.
It's anime bullshit, man. For who do not know, this is a visual novel-esque game that is... I always blank on his name.
It's the Zero Escape guy.
Yeah, the Zero Escape guy. Kotaro Uchikoshi. Doing that. Making this as that team. We're more anime bullshit, but instead of death games, it's more detective stories.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it follows what... I haven't played too much of the Zero Escape series. I haven't. I need to go for it because obviously that is my shit, type of shit. But it does kind of go through the whole thing where it's a visual novel and it has like a little timeline that you can jump to get multiple endings to get to the true ending. Though this one is not... AI is not nearly as complicated as many different routes as Zero Escape. I've got far enough to see that timeline and it is pretty bonkers for those games. But yeah, this is a sequel to the first one. I will say from this, and they've stated this from the announcement of the game, and I think it holds true. You do not need to play the first one to play this one. It's a completely separate story. The first one ended while the story was told, yada yada yada, and this is a whole new mystery that they're doing. To be honest, about the only thing you can really spoil is who lives and dies for the true ending. A funny thing they did do though is they asked, "Are you familiar with the I'm blanking on the name of the case. Whatever the case was for the first game, you pick yes, the guy will ask you a couple questions, and you have to guess them correctly. And if you do, the characters will talk and reference the previous game.
Oh, that's pretty.
So they
cool.
literally quiz you. And that's kind of a clever way. So apparently, if you don't pass the quiz, they'll like hide some information to not spoil you.
Yeah,
Or something.
and there are a couple things in particular that even I was like in the trailer, like, wait, why is this like this? And they, because I didn't answer the questions, yada yada, they state why the thing is what it is, and some of it is literally so they give an in-game reason. But the main reason is, okay, we didn't want to spoil the first one for people, so we're doing this. We're doing this.
Gotcha. Cool.
Which is cute and, doesn't really change much. So, yeah, so if you see this and hear what I'm saying and it appeals to you, yeah, you can jump in here without playing the first one. But I do recommend the first one because it is really good and, like, I think stupid cheap at this point.
Yeah. So wasn't the gameplay of this one pretty changed or something? I think I remember when it first came out, or I thought that there was like some change. Like,
not really. It still again follows the visual novel thing. During the a lot of the main game, you'll get quick time events. I think Darby, you came in while I was finished the game, and there are a bunch of fighting and shit that happens occasionally. But all you do is like you press the left stick one ways to signal. Do an attack, and then you press a button to do it, yada yada yada. Way like, okay, we want to show these fun fight scenes and give you a little thing to do without going actually making combat, which again, visual novel, it's fine.
Gotcha.
But the main thing as far as actually playing the game is in the Somniums, which is something in both games, and it's in the title, where you go into people's heads and their dreams to find out something that they're hiding, or to kind of make they help them get over trauma or stuff like that. Just kind of go in their head to figure out some stuff. And because this is a dream world, it is crazy. I will say this stuff to kind of give you an idea how crazy it can be. There's one character in particular that you go into her head multiple times, and she is a streamer. So one of the worlds, it's Minecraft. The other one, another one, it is Pokemon Go. You are going around to Pokestops and you are collecting characters as if they are Pokemon and battling them. And they do crazy shit like that sometimes. And the worlds can be crazy. I will say, based on what I remember from the first game, it's been 3 years, so some of my memories are a little fuzzy. Here it is. I think the Somniums in this one are overall better as far as the actual going through them. Because I think it's an easy thing to argue the ones in the last game were kind of tedious, and a lot of it's not really clear what exactly I'm supposed to do, so you just kind of have to keep on trying or whatever. And the thing is with Somnium is you have 6 minutes to finish it. There is a timer. While you're standing still, the timer doesn't move, and you can click on interact with things and do an action, and they each take a certain amount of seconds, though the actual cutscene for the action far exceeds the actual seconds it does most of the time, but whatever. It's a dream world. Who gives a shit? Yeah. And you can get little items throughout that can decrease the amount of times and yada yada yada. I guess depending, I haven't actually read like what people thought about it because I just finished it yesterday and haven't really had time to look at other full on impressions because I was avoiding everything because I didn't want to get spoiled. But the Somnium seemed a lot more straightforward as far as like obvious of what you got to do. So the thing that you can do to the other options is, it's a bunch of funny, stupid shit. It's like, this is obviously the wrong thing. It's like interacting with this memory person. It's like, do you talk to them and try to appeal their feelings, or do you kick their ass? One is the right answer. The other one is just kicking their ass just to see how that plays out.
As you do when you're
doing the right answer and you have the fun answer. I hope you picked the fun answer.
Yeah, of course. And that's kind of a fun thing because you got 3 redos. There are various checkpoints in the Somniums, and you have 3 kind of go backs. But the farther you get into the Somnium, is the more go backs it takes to get to a certain point. So if I'm to the 4th checkpoint to go back to the very beginning, I have to use all 3 of my redos instead of just one if I just want to go back to the previous checkpoint. And it saves the amount of time you had when you get to those checkpoints. So that's the reason you might pick certain ones. Like, oh, this one took me too long, so let me go back to where now that I know how to do it, you can get through this stuff really quick.
Okay. So is it basically like a game you would recommend to like Danganronpa and like Phoenix Wright
Oh,
fans?
yes.
Stuff like- okay, yeah.
For the type of game it is, yes. There is one caveat with this game, and some people, well, Darby knows probably where I'm going with this. And if you heard me talk about the last game, and that is the abundance of sex jokes.
I heard that's a problem with the first one.
Yeah, there are a lot of them, and I was hoping maybe that they would tone it down, like have less of them, because the main character on this, Mizuki, who was a character in the first one, she was a 12-year-old girl there. Now she is 18. Yada yada yada.
Now she can make the sex joke.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not going to tone it down. That's just gonna
Well, her
ramp it
part
up.
of the first game was, well, she's a very mature 12-year-old, and it's not going where you think it's going based on me saying that. Is the main character of the first games is her adoptive
Scrub that from the record. Definitely said that.
father is adopted father, and he's a total perv. So she just kind of beats him up for it because he's scum, which is true. Everyone believes he is scum, and he is scum in a lot of ways. But also kind of cool. It's weird. So yeah, she also goes in a little bit in the sex joke, but it's like a weird thing of, I think the sex jokes there are more of them, but they're not as cringy and just as bad. I don't know. It, like even with the sex jokes, they're not nearly as bad as like a lot of you think of with anime, but they're just like, this doesn't need to be here. I mean, some of them are even get a chuckle out of me, but it's like, you can keep those and be fine, but they're just too many.
A thinking man sex joke, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. Well, I mean, the whole like you pervert, whatever, like that kind of cringy anime thing is cringy on its own, but almost what does make it like a lot of that shit worse for me is just how kind of out of place, how it's just like so clearly there for like fan service type thing, and you could literally just remove it from the show and nothing would change. Nothing would be lost. The character dynamic, nothing would be lost.
Yeah, and it's like a thing with the character.
That's what annoys me.
Like with the character designs, generally speaking, is that, I mean, they're not like really sexualized designs. Like the characters dress pretty normally. Some of them are a little more over the top, but it's just kind of anime character way, not the anime sexy way. You know what I mean?
Just feels like sometimes there's a quota. There's a quota of like we must.
But even regardless of that, the story's fun. It's a bunch of anime bullshit that I'm obviously not going to get into here. I'm still kind of confused about how everything exactly played out and how it worked and all that, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm glad I like the character for the first one, but I think it was good for this game that it moved to a different protagonist for this one. Kind of help keep it fresh and picking a fan favorite they can build off of from the first one.
Nice.
So I like a lot of detective games and like murder mysteries, and I think an appeal of those type of games is how branching the storylines can be, where you may not find like all the leads or all the clues. And I was wondering, like, is this game like pretty linear? And then
it is very linear.
Okay.
It's kind of more you're in for the story though. The branching paths are normally within the Somniums. So at some point, they make it clear, okay, there's something that happens here, and you have to. Some of them you can decide which way to go, but some of them it's like you literally can. There's only one path you can go now because you got to go through the other path to get the information you need.
Okay.
Like yeah. Well, I won't, just go into details or whatever. But some of the branching paths are literally, just there's the branching paths that are kind of main things, and then some of them are just kind of what if story things that are focused on one of the characters or two of them, just that you can use to get this specific information.
Okay.
About the case.
Gotcha. So it's like all the action happens in those dream sequences. It's not like you're kind of like moving around, I don't know, like some sort of space. Yeah. Or like, or making choices like because it's a visual novel. It's like I want to go to like, I don't know, the cafe and talk to like so-and-so.
Yeah, I mean, you get kind of choice, but it's, it's kind of thing where you get a bunch of choices. You kind of got to go through all of them.
Okay.
Before really moving on.
Moves on, I see.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, that's about all you can do for a visual novel without going into all the spoilers. But it is a lot of fun. Like I said, if you're into the anime bullshit like Danganronpa, especially like Danganronpa, because that kind of fits Danganronpa more than Tone and like Ace Attorneys even. But even that, if you're into that kind of stuff, I say pick up the first game because I've seen it dirt cheap at this point, and then play that if you like it. Jump into this one because they look the same. It's obviously using the same engine. Like I played the first one shortly after release, like 2.5 years ago.
I think this is a pretty like niche kind of low budget game that you were probably just happy to get a sequel.
Oh yeah, I did not expect a
like,
sequel when that dropped, and especially seeing that Mizuki was the main character. It's like, fuck yes, I have no idea what you're gonna do with this, but I'll happily take more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
good shit.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, completely switching gears. Nothing really similar about the next game.
I mean, there are waifus.
I guess there are waifus. I've been playing Overwatch 2 because I somehow got lucky enough to get in the beta, and none of my friends have. I'm just the way I was like, please let someone else get in here.
Let me check real quick.
Okay, live on the air, checking.
Still haven't got
Hold
it.
your breath.
No, Blizzard hates Jeff. But yeah, so this is the second beta. I was in the other beta too, but we didn't play a ton. I played a little bit with Sojourn coming out. But this one, there's several new maps, and Junker Queen is in, and
Yes, Queen.
I have like fallen in love with her as a character. Like I've completely got addicted to her like play style and everything, which is weird because I really don't play tanks in this game ever, like at all. It's the one role that I just completely.
It's when we gotta force them.
Yeah, see, I just avoid it like the plague. I mean, there's just a lot of things I just don't really like. A lot of the character design, like the way their kits go, and I just don't like being the center of attention. Kind of the tanks have to like kind of lead the charge and everything, and I'm way more of a shoot from behind type of player. But she is like, I don't know why I love it so much, because she is a very in your face type of tank. She is like, it's really encourages you to like run in there, hit everyone, do a bunch of abilities, and she has basically an ability that automatically like gives her 200 something health and boosts her movement speed for a brief amount of time,
as well as allies.
Yeah, I usually just use it for myself, but the allies is a bonus. They're around, they get the benefit too.
You need to be around me.
But I mean, it's kind of the thing with her. She is kind of individual. I mean, it helps the team. A lot of her stuff like does help the team, but I feel like, it at least feels like she dies faster in normal tank if you're not smart about that. Because like if you didn't use that ability at the right time, I think you can burst her down decently easy. But that second win, knowing when, like a lot of times I'll jump into the fight, I'll initiate with this big hammer thing that she has. So I'll do like a bunch of damage to them immediately, and then when they start shooting me, then I'll do the second win, and then I can like finish them off. It's like knowing when to do that, not doing it too early, because it doesn't last super long, and then you're back to your normal health. So like that risk reward is very fun, and like kind of balances her, because she can do a lot of damage. You can jump in there, and like especially that axe swing is just very, very powerful and very fun. So like I've just learned how to like toy around with it. Like I'll shoot people, get them down a little bit, and I know exactly where to get them down to where it's like, okay, you getting the hammer now. Like, I'm coming for you. But it's just so frantic, and like you're in and out, zipping all over the place, going crazy. And in general, I just feel like it's still early, and like it might change, but right now just playing Overwatch 2 just definitely feels a lot better, in the sense of, I think taking that one player away makes like every fight,
the readability of the game is
way more readable. I think even with as much as I played Overwatch before, there was definitely a lot of fights where it's just chaos. There's just people everywhere,
bubbles everywhere,
shields, bubbles, all this stuff. There's 2 tanks, so there's so much sustain and so many like things blocking your damage that eventually I just die and I don't even know what I did wrong. It was just like it just kind of becomes a mess at times. And at least so far in this, there's a lot more of, I'm able to like see where everyone is, plan things out, because there's only one tank. It's just, you take that one tank down and you know what to do next.
It's more focused, because it's one tank, because the lack of shields, it's like, okay, you got to be more focused, because you can actually maybe take them down instead of just blindly kind of shoot, because what's the point?
Right. And the fights just in general just seem more dynamic, and they're more spread out, because you have to use cover rather than just sitting behind 2 tanks worth of shields. So like I just feel like the fights end up being a lot more spread out, and like I'm able to catch someone off, because like the supports will go like into a building off to the side or something, so I'll like sneak around and like kill the 2 supports with my axe and everything. It's like you just feel like your strategy. I'm able to strategize and think about things. More.
Even as a support main he's on the receiving end of the killing. It's something, kind of thinking about it as we were talking, because unfortunately, like we said, I'm not in this beta. Before I would just die and not really sure what happened. I felt like, thinking back now, the times in Overwatch 2 when I did kind of randomly die, it's easy to look over. It's like, okay, yeah, that person did kind of just sneak behind, and it makes it more clear like how you died.
Right. And I think the map design is also a very big component to that, because I think the new maps, like, that's arguably like maybe even a big, I don't know, 5v5 is very big, but like the map design is also complements that really well, because there's a lot more like different elevation and different avenues. Like there's multiple ways to get to the same point, like you can go through all these tunnels and everything, and that really does, as far as, like you said, just catching someone off guard and catching them out of position, that makes that a lot better. You can get some angle, especially like if you're a sniper or something, you can get an angle on someone like a lot better than you can in Overwatch. And it has made playing some of the old maps, you realize just how like kind of linear they are. Like they really is just like, it funnels everyone into one choke, and it's like, okay, the defender stand on this side of it, you stand on this side of it, and that's it. There's really like there's no way around it. There are some ways, but it's like
they're more character specific the other ways around sometimes.
Right, and sometimes the other way is right beside it, so they literally just turn here. Now they're defending here, turn here. It's just like it's too easy to defend, and it's like it just forces everyone into this one meatball of a fight, basically. And I think it seems like a subtle change, because it still definitely feels like Overwatch, but it just feels more rewarding to me. It feels a little more satisfying to get the kills. I feel like I got the kills because like, I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to try to go over here. I think this person's going to be here, and they were, rather than I just shot a bunch until like we got lucky, which is what sometimes, at least at our level, it felt like with the previous, with Overwatch 1. So just in general, I'm like kind of surprised by just how hooked I was getting, and I'm able to articulate some of that stuff here, but some of it was just a feeling. And I've been playing Overwatch 1 even recently, and I've just kind of burnt out on it because it's been the exact same game for 3 years. It's just getting dull. But even
it'll be gone.
Even when I was playing support, which I did play a fair amount of support games and everything, it just like, I don't know, for me it felt like Overwatch bliss in a way. It felt like the best version of Overwatch I've had, like some of the best memories I've had before. But this is like maybe the first time ever I played like all day from sun up to sundown by myself, which Overwatch is not usually a game I play by myself. I just play with friends, but like it was addicting. It really, really was. So like I am feeling a lot more optimistic. It's still yet to be seen how they support it and everything. Like, all that's gonna be a big deal, and they have shown in the past that they'll make mistakes with that. But right now, I think Sojourn is one of the best DPSs in the game, just design wise, and Junker Queen is like the only tank that I enjoyed. I think her design is really fun. So like, I'm pretty optimistic that now that they can design characters around 5v5 in these new maps, like I don't know, I like what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I think like you were talking about the maps, and I think, as you say, with Sojourn and Junker Queen, that they're obviously designed for this new style play. And yeah, Junker Queen especially is, you can tell their new philosophy for tanks. You can tell how like Orisa got redesigned and everything, and all that. Yeah. It's like, okay, they have this is the way they want to take at least most tanks. They'll probably have something to differentiate them that might be a little different, but yeah, they have the new design philosophy, and that is, I think, very clear to see if you're not someone who's just hating on the game.
right yeah.
So for some, so if you were explaining the differences between Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 to a 5-year-old, and the 5-year-old's me, by the way, what would you say? Because from your conversation, it sounds like the big difference is that Overwatch 2 is a much more leaner, more legible kind of game. Because when I watched Overwatch 1, it's just like you said, like a big meatball of like orange and blue, and I'm like, I have no idea like what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and it's part of the issue with this game because I mean, it never should have been a sequel. It should have just been like these things were added to the game, which is kind of like messed with some of it. And I do think if you're like from the outside, it's not going to look that different. I mean, it's still going to look kind of crazy in a lot of ways, which definitely makes it hard to sell exactly. But I mean, I think like so like fundamentally, I think the game is really not that different from the fundamentals. But when you get in there, I think just the biggest difference is there is just less space. There's more like there is kind of less going on, but it's just more that you have more space to operate with. There's not just this absolute onslaught of abilities just coming off at all times. There is some breathing room. There is some time to exist, to think, to like survey and do all this. I think taking that one less character, and especially that one less character being a tank that's gone, I think is just something like, I mean, it makes it's kind of a perfect change because it feels like Overwatch, but it feels like what you want, or, you know, what you thought Overwatch would be. And, you know, it's just like the better version of it, just simply by making it like kind of slow down a tad.
Right. Okay.
So that wasn't a great explanation. It is hard to explain.
Right. But it's like if you're a fan, if you played a lot of Overwatch 1, you can like easily see the difference.
I think so. I mean, there is a lot of negativity about this game. This is becoming one of those games that's almost like Pokemon levels of like everyone just kind of loves to hate it, which I mean Blizzard, yeah.
The Pinkerton of shooters,
basically. I mean Blizzard does not do any favors, obviously. Blizzard has made many reasons for you to not like them as a company, but I'm also like, you kind of have to give them a chance to make it better, you know, to make the game better, to make everything better when it comes to this. And it's just, at least right from the beginning, the onset, like I went from like, yeah, I think 5v5 is probably going to be a good change, to I'm like, yes, I never want to go back. You know, I want this to be how it goes going forward. But there are some things like supports need to be reworked. Like the supports really didn't get any reworks and everything. And I have to briefly mention, I think it'll be gone very, very soon. But there's one specific Mercy change that is just pretty freaking awful. Like, and I don't want to get too in the weeds so I can stop soon, but like she had a glitch in Overwatch 1 that they just kind of intentionally didn't patch out because it was just very useful and it was just fine. But you could, if you like hit crouch, and she can fly to people. If you do crouch, if you fly to someone and crouch at the same time, you'll like jump up in the air, do this like super jump.
Yes.
Yeah. So they've added that. Everyone wanted them to add that to her kit, but I just wanted it to be a button. Like you fly and you press another button if you want to, and you can choose to go up. Their version of putting that in the game is every single time you fly to anyone, you just automatically jump up in the air at the end.
Yeah, that seems like a bad
Which
decision.
is like, I don't always want to do that. Yeah. Like, so sometimes I fly to someone, jump up, and the widow's like, oh, there she, boom.
You don't always just want to like shoot straight into the sky and just be like a big bullseye for everyone.
Oh, and it's also terrible because she can resurrect people, but she can be knocked out of that resurrection, and that jump up in the air will knock you out of there. If you fly to someone and start rezzing them, then you'll jump up in the air and it knocks you out of it. So it's like, great, wonderful. So I've knocked myself out of so many reses. There is a way you have to hit shift at like just the right time to stop her from going up. But like that shouldn't be it should be the other way around, if anything. It should be that by default she does it, and you have to press the skill, you have to do like know when to press it to jump up. So I'm sure they're gonna change it because it's just like kind of objectively bad. So, you know, I guess that's concerning that they even put that in the game, but it is a beta, so you know, I'm not gonna I'll hold off too much of the rage on that. But yeah, this is the most positive I felt about Overwatch in a long time. Like, I want to go play it tonight. I just want to be playing it every day. So I'm like kind of sad that we're gonna have to wait from July to October, which I didn't expect to be feeling this way about Overwatch. So I'm pretty happy. You know? I'm pretty happy.
Elden Ring.
Jacob, you start. Go off, King.
That ring is Elden.
Have you brandished?
I may have brandished the Elden Ring once or twice. I finished Elden Ring. It took me like 4 months, but like I think I scraped the lands between. Like, I went into every like pus-filled cave, every poison swamp. Miyazaki, like, come at me.
Come at me, bro.
Can't stop.
He's waiting.
Miyazaki,
Give
come
me
on the
more.
show.
You know that DLC is gonna be like 10 poison swamps.
Those like Colosseums or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, that shit. I want to play as freaking lady, your lady or whatever that was your maiden. I want to play as her.
Oh
okay?
yeah. Yeah. Why? I mean, I don't want to say spoilers, but
Yeah.
why? What's the deal with her eye? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let me know. I have questions and I demand answers.
You demand some.
And I
Is America and that one dude the same person? Are they two people? Who freaking knows?
I don't.
Yeah. That's a me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This game's fantastic.
That is a good video game.
It is. Yeah, I mean, as I've talked about, I was so averse to it. Like, I've just been scared off of FromSoft games forever. Just never really thought they were my thing. And I expected that there's probably a world where I did that with this game too. But I'm like just so freaking glad I didn't. But I mean, like, how do you think this, I mean, compares to, I mean, does it just feel like a culmination of like a bunch of FromSoft legacy into one game, or it's like...
It definitely is both literally and like how it feels as well, like metaphorically. But yeah, I mean, I say literally because I'm like, oh yeah, that's a texture from like Bloodborne, or like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's the Asylum Demon moveset. Like I've seen this before, but like I'm that's not like a bad thing. Like if it's good, like just reuse it. And that's how you can make this huge game within like a pretty understandable amount of time. And then it also feels like, spiritually, metaphorically, whatever it is. Yeah, it is Dark Souls 4, 5, and 6 just in one game. And yeah, it feels like they've taken a lot of things that they built on. These games are all about like iteration, and this definitely feels like they are the most like just taking all the things that they learned from doing, the Souls games, Bloodborne, Sekiro even, and just like rolling it into one thing and just kind of perfecting it almost in a way. I mean, not that it's a perfect game. I think it has problems, but because it's so huge and creaky in spots, but it's if you like Souls games, I think it is definitely like just this phenomenal like engrossing experience. And I think it brings, I didn't think after playing all the Souls games multiple times, it's like, well, how are you going to get me to like just want to explore every inch of this place again? I've seen a lot of it, a lot of these games. I know a lot of their tricks, and it still managed to like pull me in and want me to like again go into every cave and like find like things or like mess around with like damage numbers by like switching the like the attunement on my weapons. I'm like, what's the mileage I can get out of this? That's so.
Well, that's the amazing thing, that just like in our friend group, all of our play styles are like so different. I mean, the game changes so much depending on what you're doing and even where you go. Because like I finally got to experience that FromSoft thing that I never experienced before, about like we were all literally playing on a Discord call, all playing separate games, and we would just like mention like, yeah, I found this one thing, I don't know what the hell this is about, and they're like, oh, I know what that is. It's like just sharing the knowledge back and forth. And like I was like trying not to look anything up. I was trying to just like use my friends as the wiki guide and everything. It's like that was very cool, you know, very, very cool, because the game is so like obtuse and hides so many things from you intentionally, which I could absolutely see. I mean, in the hands of a worse developer, that could just be obnoxious as hell, but it's just in that moment, like whenever you're talking to your friends doing all that, it was pretty magic.
Yeah. And I think it even if you've been you played these games since like Demon's Souls, it also like plays on that too, because one thing that's in like the Dark Souls series that everyone knows about is like the mimic chests, where you go to open a chest and you get got and it gobbles you up. But like they're not in Elden Ring. Instead, you have these like teleportation chests, which will just like yeet you across the map to like some poison hell swamp, and it's like, okay, I like that's it's like a fun. Like it's a lot of it's very reminiscent of like obviously Souls, but it's also there's tweaks and touches there, and I think it it manages to have this huge open world that's like, again, 3 times as long as like any Souls game, and still kind of like pull you through, make you feel like you're hitting kind of like that natural kind of character progression, and with your like role playing and your leveling up, and have it all come together into like this really kind of fulfilling experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a world where that open world could have felt kind of like a annoying thing that you're having to do when you just want to play your Dark Souls games. It seems like if you added all those castles together, you basically have a Dark Souls game.
Yeah,
It's like, it's like if you just didn't have the open world in between them. So I could have absolutely seen that being something where it's like, oh god, I just have to fight all these ads, to fight all these things or whatever just to get to the next big thing, and it's going to take me so many hours or whatever. But instead, that's like maybe my favorite part of the game is like unlocking the map and everything,
exploring.
Yeah. That's the thing too about Elden. It's kind of wild because this, the last game that they played, which I don't even really would think of Sekiro as like a Souls game. It's so far afield from that, but it has its touches. And I mean, Sekiro is just a straight up action game where the philosophy is just like you have all the tools like in your toolbox, just do it like with the boss. If you're having a hard time, it's like if you can't beat this like big samurai, it's like it's not a matter of like, oh, I didn't find like the magic MacGuffin or whatever. Like I just gotta like beat him.
Right.
Whereas like with Elden Ring, it's like, well, if you can't get past like Margit, it's like there's a whole like 40 hours that you can just go lose yourself in and like find gear and level up. And I felt like Elden Ring just kind of really is the most like RPG, like crunching the numbers, finding like the weird bullshit that will like stack on top of each other to just like destroy a boss, and not so much about like, oh, I gotta like perfect dodge roll around this guy's bullshit. It's more of like, okay, how can I like juice up my fire spell to where I can just like stun lock this guy and while my like ghosts skeletons like wail on him, and like that, and that's satisfying in its own way. And I thought that was a very different experience from like anything in Dark Souls 3.
When the level design, I mean, I definitely get the whole FromSoft level design thing now because it just feels like they know what you're gonna do before you do it, even when you think you're outsmarting the game or you're doing something like. It took a very long time to get used to this game's not going to let you just dodge roll out of things. It knows you're dodge rolling, so like this boss is going to hit you here, and then he's going to go, whoa,
and he's going to jump, and then he's going to swing the pause, and then he's going to hit you.
The pausing, there was like they would always go slower than I think. They're up in the air, and I'm like, okay, they're about to come down. I dodged. They're still up there.
Dodge again, and then you're out of stamina, and then
they know how to catch you right there. It's like it's amazing. Yeah, but I mean, I think me and Jeff shared the same thing, that it's like with how Elden Ring, how if you're stuck at something, you could just go play like a whole game's worth of other shit or whatever before you come back to it. That's the thing that worries me about like going to other FromSoft games. I think you like had some of the same fears. It's like I don't know if I would like the other ones as much. I'm never gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely feel like more constricted in comparison, just because they're just not like open world games, and I feel like. It's an easy thing to say, like, oh, it's just big Dark Souls, it's just big open world Dark Souls. But I feel like, the amount of like mystery and like interesting things that Miyazaki and his team kind of sprinkle throughout the world to kind of like make that exploration satisfying and feel rewarding, I think is something that may not necessarily like get talked about like when people talk about the game, because I feel like. For me, and I feel like a lot of other people, it's like, exploring the world and like finding some awesome sword in some random cave, or going to another cave and like, oh, there's like an NPC here, and this is actually like super story relevant stuff, which is a very different thing that I like, that I think about when I think about Elden Ring more so. In Dark Souls was like, oh, this epic boss that I like, kicked my ass, and then, I just got good, and like,
I mean, you will like truly not just like saying it for effect. You truly stumble into some of the like some super important, super crazy things that it's like. There's several times like I thought I was going nowhere. I thought I was platforming on something that was going to lead nowhere. That was like, okay, I'm just platforming on the side of this cliff that I'm never meant to be at. and then you do it for a few minutes. It's like, oh wait, shit, no, there's a whole area here. Like they knew I was gonna do this. It didn't look like anything, but it's like, it's like you truly, the amount of times that I just like stumbled ass backwards into this whole crazy thing. It was just like, it literally is simultaneously the best combat, the most satisfying combat I've ever had, and maybe an open world that like rivals, maybe even beats Breath of the Wild for me as far as exploration. I think it does beat it, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of 2 games in one, and both games are like masterpieces.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm hoping now that Elden Ring is out, obviously had the critical success and obviously having that financial success. We haven't got to an updated sales number in a while, but it continues to be like one of, if not the top game on NPD. So I'm curious to see those updated numbers. But people look more of like Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild and like, oh, people really want these kind of open world games, to maybe we get less Ubisoft style open world games and people going in a little more in that direction.
I mean, yeah, and I've been kind of burnt out on the Horizon Ubisoft type of, checklist open world games or whatever. I mean, I don't think that exactly what Elden Ring does works for every game, and I don't think I want to play an Elden Ring type of game all the time. There's room for everything, but I do hope that people take some things from this, like just the fact that like it's okay to have quests and check marks and things like that, but like there are some open world games I've played where it feels like you don't interact with the world and discover things by like roaming around the world. You discover things by like, oh, there's a thing, I'm going to go to it or whatever. I do think that people need to like embrace some more of that like emergent open world design. That's just, it's okay if some people miss this. It's okay if there's some crazy thing that some people they never wander over there and do it, because that's such a cool story when you go to your friend and you start telling them about this. You went on, it's like, and the genius about this game, that the amount of times that like me, Jeff, and Alex were like, oh yeah, so I think I can see where the world map ends there. We haven't unlocked all of it, but it's like right there. There's a little spot. So we almost have all of it. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's pretty big and dense and everything. And then you go to that next place and it expands more.
Well, I don't think I'm ever gonna forget when I think this treasure chest that Jacob was talking about earlier, like the one you can find very early on that took you to the.
Oh yeah, it takes you off the map, what your map was at that time.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's so big. It's gotta be close to like as big as the map is, and it's like, oh no,
it's literally less than half. Like what I thought was the whole world, and I was satisfied with, was literally like a quarter of what the map actually was. And I'm so glad that was preserved for me. Like I didn't know. I literally had no clue. I was like, okay, this is it. Yeah,
it's cool. The best like just plot.
So, and then I remember
the underground, like the underground too. It's like
the axis is like that's what I was not expecting.
And when I went to the first one, I was like, okay, that was a one-time thing. That's cool. It's like there's the underground for basically the whole gym.
Well, when I first went to I think what most people will be first thing going underground is like, oh, this is just the short little linear thing, and then you get for a point it's this giant expansive thing. You're like, oh
yeah, it's like the most beautiful area. You're just like, what the fuck?
And the fact that even like I love when games do this, and Elden Ring does it so much that you are like very early on in the game and you see like things in the distance. You're seeing Mohg's castle thing or whatever in the distance, but you have no clue what it is. And then you go there like literally 80 hours later and you're like, oh,
at the end of the game, you're like, oh, I finally made it there.
It's like, wow, like I love that shit. That's like so cool. Oh, and I went in one of those like tunnel things that took me to the whatever the like tornado floating city in the sky. It took me there like really early in the game, but I couldn't do anything with it. I just like came out of a portal and I could just see it. It just took me in front of the city and I could see it doing it. I was like, what the hell is it?
And like, that's waiting for you.
And you're always like, anytime it teleports me so random like that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit the map button and I want to see just how far away I am. And I hit it and I'm like, way the fuck over there. I'm like, oh my god. that sense of, I had so many just like wow moments just from like a map reveal. Right. I'm like, what? I want to play it again. It's so damn good. But you'll never play it for the first time. That's that first experience is just like, magic.
Yeah. And it's even like, it's like there's so many ways you can get into like the capital city. There's so many ways you can get into like the dark root depths below. And it's like that's all just depending on like what kind of NPC quest lines you manage to follow, like will like determine like how you get there, or and it's all really. I think it really adds to kind of like the unique experience of like playing that game for the first time.
100%.
And also that map, like the world map, also just like lies to you. There's like moments where I'm like, there should be a road here, and there's like a road is like clearly the road is not here, and you're like, all right, well. Now I had to like look around and like figure out how to like navigate. Like,
because I love that it would show you, if you get close enough, it would show you where the map marker was. But I would become obsessed with just trying to get to that map marker. So like the one up there, like near Rykard and stuff up there near that area, I was like trying to get it for so long and like couldn't find it. It was like I was following this road. And I'm like, okay, this is finally gonna lead up to it, and then the road's like cracked.
Yep.
So I'm like, God.
Yep. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
And the story too, I think, having played the other games, I can definitely feel George R. Martin's hand in the narrative of Elden Ring, and I think it does give it like its own feel to it, where like thematically, like it's again iterating on like kind of the themes of Dark Souls 1 through 3, but I feel like with George R. Martin also contributing to it, like there's a lot more. It's more clear like who the players are like in this world, and like what they're for a lot of not every character, but a lot of characters, like you kind of understand like their motivations, their kind of their goals, and like kind of what kind of factions and ideals they represent. And I feel like that's a very Game of Thronesy kind of.
Like, oh yeah, it's interesting that like we literally have the opposite things, where I haven't played Souls, but I have read all the Game of Thrones books twice at this point almost or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I even not knowing the Dark Souls stuff before, I mean, the houses and just like how much history there was in this world before you got there, like not just with magic stuff and everything, but with like these factions and these like people and like betrothals and all this other stuff. It was like it very much felt like Game of Thrones in the sense that it's like you're almost playing the epilogue to the real story that was before, but that just definitely creates lots of intrigue and everything. That's why I don't really like. I've seen a lot of people say like George R. Martin didn't do shit on this. This was just the Dark Souls game. I was like, I don't know. I definitely feel. I mean, I don't think he was like the lead of the story. Like he is the reason for everything. But it's like I can definitely feel some like Georgisms when it comes to that.
The story is like definitely like the clearest I feel like it's ever been, besides for like Sekiro. And like
right.
I mean, Sekiro had like a talking character. Yeah, completely different. So it's
I might be wrong in this. What didn't they kind of say what George did was kind of write like backstories and shit, like you guys talking about the past, and then Miyazaki was like, okay, we'll fill in the stuff for the present and that kind of shit. Like go way in the future and kind of make our own shit based on that.
Yeah, and I
think so.
Yeah, when you kind of learn the lore of like these major characters, like Marika and Godfrey and whatever, and what's her name, Renala. Like you can kind of see kind of George kind of writing like that kind of politicking, if you will, of these characters that happened in the past, and then of course because it's a Souls game, you get there and everything's just like fucked up beyond belief, and like the world's crumbling apart, and you kind of.
Well, I know enough about the way George writes. I mean, he's like his whole like reason he started writing was like he read Lord of the Rings and everything, and he took issue with like it was something about like how the orcs like. It was something about like the orcs like trade and stuff. It was like something that he took issue with. It was like unrealistic because it was like to move that many people you would need all this other stuff or whatever. So it's like he is a details man, you know. He is a very like, I'm sure to do this he probably took like fucking 5 months of making backstory and how all these factions lived and died and everything that probably should have been going towards Winds of Winter, but but hey, we still got Elden Ring.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I should give up hope.
But Elden Ring does.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I would read the Elden Ring world book.
Oh yeah, it's really. I think the world that they made. I mean, like I said before, with other Souls games, it's like my favorite thing about them is like figuring out this world and like what happened and kind of what's at stake here. And I feel like Elden Ring does that really, really well.
I agree. All right, Jeffrey. let's get through our news pretty fast so that we can get to our main topic later. But right now, news jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. All right, gentlemen, we had a Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase.
They added all the qualifiers. I just feel like whenever they start throwing all those on there, you know, they're like, hey, calm the fuck down, internet.
Yep. You know, we got the rumor one exactly when we were told by insiders, but yeah, it wasn't exactly what people expected, and people were mad. But whatever. We got what we got. We'll get the games later, so let's just get into what we have here. Don't have everything that was on there, just kind of the more, I guess, interesting stuff. But I'd say there was a lot of interesting stuff overall. I know you watched half of it, Dari. Did you ever watch the rest of it?
No.
All right. Assume you haven't.
Well, I've basically ended up seeing. I think there's a few things I missed, but I saw Sonic Frontier. I saw Live Alive. I saw a lot of it.
Okay.
Most of it.
What about you, Jacob?
I did not watch it.
All right. Let's go down the main things. They start with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Not too much to say. I mean, it was a long stuff, but just kind of going over, okay, this is kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
And going over some, okay, this is what the updates are. We got the giant expansion. Here are the updates for the expansion.
I'm more interested. Do you think you're going to get it? Sunbreak?
It's a big maybe. We'll see.
Gotcha.
I've already completed like one big game. Like, well, there's another 90 hours for me. But
you could always just get it next year on sale or something.
Exactly.
You know,
but maybe.
Nier Automata, the end of Yorha edition, coming October 6th. Finally, Nintendo dorks get to experience 2B in that ass.
The way it was meant to be played on the Switch.
Nice 30 frames, 720p, lift up skirts.
Yes, you can now look up 2B skirt on the bus.
Yes.
Great.
God intended.
Where everyone can see your shape.
Finally. Yeah, long time coming. Though, Dari, I don't know if you remember this. Me mentioning this before the Direct happened about there being a rumor that there's going to be a big 2018 game announced for Switch.
Yeah, you told me about this. That was like,
Yeah, it was this game.
which is dumb because the game came out in 2017. It was
Yeah,
the game
but
of the year.
end
Came
of
out
Yorha edition came out in 20.
If you're gonna tease, at least tease
Yeah.
better. You know.
My thought is that guy just had no idea and knew nothing about Nier Automata and just saw the end
It's
of
just
Yorha
one
game.
Google search away.
Yeah.
Though.
I don't know. Super Bomberman R2 announced coming out for next year. Guys, we got a new game from Konami.
We did it.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't show a crazy amount to why this justifies a sequel, to be honest. I guess you can kind of build stuff and there's like a new mode in there, but they didn't really show much, so.
Yeah, to be honest, I have zero interest in playing Bomberman the year of our Lord 2022, but more power to the 10 people who do well.
But made the biggest announcement of the show. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection coming next year. Let's go, baby.
Ooh, that's a lot of games.
Yep, 10 games. Let's fucking go. Though it is kind of like a Pokemon thing where some of them are just 2 versions, but still.
Well, don't look at it too hard.
Yeah. But as a small boy, did I play those 2 versions a lot for some of those. Because the kind of cool thing about them is it completely changes a lot of the bosses you fight in each one. And those bosses affect like what power-ups and transformations and stuff you get. So that was always fun. And in 5 specifically, here's my pitch for Mega Man Battle Network. At least some of them, at least. You're kind of like a liberation team trying to liberate the net. So you recruit team members throughout the thing that kind of do the same thing. And you got this like Fire Emblem-esque strategy thing where you're going across the board and initiating battles and stuff. And your teams in both games are completely different. So you just get like a whole new set of characters to play as throughout the game.
That is cool.
And young Jeff loved that shit. So yeah, I'm getting this. I'm playing the shit out of this. It's about time this freaking happened. Yeah. And they're doing a weird thing where for the digital version, they're separating them the 2 parts.
Yeah, I know you said that. That's strange.
I'm probably just gonna grab a physical edition,
That is strange.
just to have, because good shit. To me, one of the exciting announcements for this for sure was Pac-Man World Repack.
I did not know that it was called Repack.
Yes, a remake of the original Pac-Man World for or the PlayStation 2, whatever. So old school 3D platformer, which is my fucking shit.
Oh yeah,
Fully remade.
I mean, it looks surprisingly good.
Oh yeah, no, and I've heard great things from people who played it at the time and everything, saying like it's not really talked about. Apparently, considered one of the best 3D platformers from that time, which gotta take very seriously. Coming August 26th. It's also apparently $30. I did not expect it to be that cheap.
Yeah.
So
it looks like a modern game. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Just visually.
So I have no idea when exactly, because there are a lot of games coming out as we'll get to. But
is it like a full remake as far as like controls and everything too? It's not just like
they actually apparently there's like their mini game looking things. They added like new ones and stuff, and looks like they kind of went all out on it.
Cool.
Even took out Miss Pac-Man.
I saw that
Pac-Mom is in now.
This Miss Pac-Man erasure. I don't
I will not stand for it.
Unfortunately, Darby, that is the reason we did not get Miss Pac-Man in Smash, because there's some freaking weird legal rights thing going on with Miss Pac-Man.
Which is hilarious because especially back in the day, Miss Pac-Man, all it was just a bow on the Pac-Man model. But like now that's a rights battle.
Yep. But anyway, yeah, I don't know when I'm getting this game. Just that's my shit. And they used the best Pac-Man design, so that's good. Blanc coming February 2023.
Yeah, this is the deer and the
apparently
bear cub. It does not look like a bear at all.
No, it's a wolf cub.
Okay, the Easy Allies I think said bear. I was like, what? So it does not look like a bear.
They were just appealing to humor. I don't think he was on the podcast, but they were doing it anyway. Okay. So actually, I'll just pull it up real quick for Jacob to kind of see. This is a game I think might interest.
Yeah, this looks like one of the best.
And it's one of the few games that was actually like announced. A lot of these, reports and remakes.
Yeah, it's like a very, very like artsy, like no dialogue game. It's just like a deer, like a baby deer fawn or whatever, and a wolf cub that are like kind of teaming together.
Oh yeah,
and it's like fully co-op, and you can play it online or locally.
Yeah,
looks like it's probably gonna be real sad.
Oh yeah.
Got like a sketchbook aesthetic going on. Yeah, it's a cute game.
Maybe console exclusive coming out February 2023. I'm in if you wanted to play it, Darby.
Yeah, unless I hear just like terrible things or something. Yep. But it's like it definitely looks cute.
Yep.
Right.
Looks adorbs. Return to Monkey Island. I know it's a big deal for a lot of people. I don't know how much any of us are interested.
I might play it.
Did you play the old Monkey Island games? I have not,
so maybe now's my chance.
Also, this is one of those times where people fucking suck with this game. I don't know if you heard, Jacob, but the creator, main director on it, he apparently did a blog, and he said straight up he is not doing that anymore because after this trailer, people were just harassing the shit out of him for the art style.
Yeah, and
is there a problem with the art style?
No. It was just kind of the old kind of. It's like.
Oh, I see. Oh, people
they had apparently they had already started doing that even before we even saw the game. Like he just the guy said it's gonna be kind of different. He's like, I'm making the game that I want to make now or whatever.
Flash game style, but it works for. I think it works for what this game's doing.
Yeah. Right.
No. I just have no connection to the Monkey Island game, so I'm not necessarily interested in it, but it looks good.
It's pretty, I think just the gameplay and stuff is definitely different because it was just like a point-and-click adventure game, and he's basically like, I want to make something more ambitious, and there was already a lot of people getting mad at him because he's, it's not the same game, so it's like,
Did not know that. Point-and-click adventure fans were so toxic.
Come on, man.
Most fans are toxic.
Especially this thing that you probably thought was long dead and it's coming back. I don't know.
Based on my limited knowledge of Monkey Island, it'd be one of those things of, I'd just be happy it existed.
Yeah.
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope was shown here. We got a release date October 20th. They also had a little showcase the next day was more in-depth to the game. They announced Bowser is going to be playable. Let's fucking go. We also
with Jack Black voicing,
of course, and Chris Pratt as Mario. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, Rabbid Mario is what everyone's thinking because he grunts and everyone's Chris Pratt.
Make Chris Hemsworth Rabbit Mario.
Yeah. And then we got Edge, the new OC Rabbit, who is just very edgy, which fits. I appreciate it. Yeah, the gameplay looks absolutely freaking fantastic. It's like everything you want out of a sequel to a game. It's like, I've talked about it a lot over the years. Mario plus Rabbids, the original one, is great, and but wasn't perfect. But they just take all the like little complaints people had and kind of fix them. Like Mario does not have to be in the party now. That was a big thing. So there are only 3 characters in a party, so that limited your team comp. And you also had to always have a rabbit in there. So I'd even really think about this. Someone point out you could not have Luigi and Peach in your party at the same time, which is a weird thing to think about.
Yeah.
And just little stuff, and just the new dynamics of the battle system, where instead of just kind of normal, it's like grid based. You can move around freely and do all this crazy shit, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And just the world map and everything just looks giant step forward, because you went into battle on the world map in the original game, so it was grid based and blocky and all that kind of stuff. It looked good, everything, but this looks so much better because partly you hit an enemy and you go to the battle arena now, but the world is a lot more interesting. It's like it's gonna be a lot more fun to actually explore and just a lot more open and all that stuff. This is again one of those sequels like taking everything good from the game and just improving on everything, and even the weakest points and all that. And the first soundtrack was a banger. They decided let's make it more of a banger because Grant Kirkhope is returning. People who don't know, Banjo-Kazooie is main thing. Gareth Coker, who is most known for Ori.
Yeah.
The Ori games, and Yoko Shimomura, who's known for a lot of things, but main thing, Kingdom Hearts. It's like, Jesus, the soundtrack is going to be
bringing a super team for this Mario plus Rabbids. It's hilarious.
Like, legitimately, if this is not up for best soundtrack or Game Awards, I mean, I know I haven't heard it, but come on.
People will go to concerts for the Mario and Rabbids.
Yes,
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this game.
Is this still a tactics game like the first?
Yeah, there's an XCOM base game.
Just wanted to make sure because that was amazing. That's
yeah. And for people who are have always been interested, it's always on sale. I've seen it on sale now for like $10. It's well worth it.
I mean, I know like the game has no right to be good, but it does legitimately look very, very good. I mean, both of them. Yeah, for sure.
RPG Time: The Legend of Wright. Coming out August 18th. This is the game I think we've been seeing for a little bit. It was announced a while ago. Are you familiar with this game, Jacob?
I am not. I have never heard of that game.
Well, then let me show you because you will probably think it is cool. Do you know what game I'm talking about, Darby?
No, I do not remember.
Do you like RPGs sometimes?
Let's see that probably. Did you see the Plucky Squire trailer at all, Jacob?
Oh,
from E3? You need to watch that too because that's really good.
So this is the trailer for it. This is not the same one. Whatever.
They are
a bunch of doodles. The game is just going through pages, and it kind of changes based depending on there's like hand drawn animations, and you're doing a bunch of crazy shit with it.
Oh, I think I have seen this.
It does look very neat. Looks very neat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So it's just like a variety of things, like platforming, but some
minigame collection.
Some like minigames, yeah. Huh. Cool. It reminds me of the Plucky Squire. We have a lot of like 2D, 3D arts and craft looking ass games.
Yep, I'm here for it. Sonic Frontiers. Jacob, I have to ask, have you seen the gameplay for this?
I have not. I assume it's Sonic doing a run, getting the rings.
The gameplay,
I mean, he's not wrong. He is doing a run and he is getting rings.
Grinding on some pipe.
So the gameplay they showed off at the beginning of June from IGN, very rough. Like, very bad.
It
which is
basically
terrible.
it basically looked like an Unreal Tech demo thing. Like the environment he was running in looked like a default, like you just got Unreal 4 or Unreal. Yeah, it looked
Dreams,
like Unreal,
right.
but it's like, I mean, yeah, it looks like a somewhat high end Dreams game, but it absolutely looks like a good
I think the best way to describe it looked like the Unreal Engine for environments with a Dreams model.
the model straight up like did not animate. And the music was like stock sad piano music. It was like, imagine Sonic gameplay with just
somber piano
just a
music.
very somber like.
Well, then they
It was
came out
not,
afterwards
it
and
was
like people just don't understand. This is like an early build. It's like, why the fuck are you showing us this then? If you
But Jeff, did this new showcase change your mind at all?
not particularly.
No.
So what this gameplay thing shown, and the maybe good news is people who played it at Summer Game Fest have, everyone I listened to from previews, watched the trailer and they said like, we're on my level. It's like, this just looks terrible. And then plays like, okay, this is actually kind of fun after playing it, especially since it's later build, yada yada yada. Partly because of what they showed here, and people could not talk about for like 2 or 3 weeks, which is when you throughout the open world are portals to a little mini levels that are kind of more what you would think of straightforward linear 3D Sonic levels. That you can get, collectibles and all that kind of shit from to advance the story and stuff. And it's like, why did you not show this?
Yeah.
Why would you not let people that previewed this talk about
I
this
think the
right
thing is,
after they played it?
The idea of this, like, kind of an open world Sonic thing with a bunch of like, it's almost like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild style, where it's like it's open world, but then you go through these portals and it's like, okay, now we're doing our bread and butter. Like, it's like that could work. Why didn't they just do it in like a Sonic vibe? Why did they try to go fucking Shadow of the Colossus with Sonic? It's just such a like tonal like chasm between those two things. It just does not work.
I had hope for this game, but it looks like I'm skipping another Sonic game. Lava Love.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like anime.
It's a very old JRPG that's being like brought to the West for the first time. It looks very pretty, but I think the writing is going to be very old. Like I saw like Trials of Mana, those like remake things, and they do look very pretty, but it's like it's old.
It's
like,
being done in the 2D HD style of like Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy and stuff. Looks like, as well as Dragon Quest 3, they might be doing that with remakes. And yeah, like Darby said, this is the first time this game being brought to the West.
Yeah.
They also announced a demo for it for the first 3 chapters or a couple characters, because the way the game works, you're playing through stories from people from a bunch of different time periods. So you get to start 3 of those stories and progress carries over, yada, yada, yada. It looks very cool. Yeah, I'm very curious how reviews are going to be. My Twitter and the people I follow are very hyped for this, but I'm curious how much is just the bubble.
I was gonna say, someone's
think
weird
it's
uncle is losing their mind.
Yeah.
I think for people who are into very old niche JRPGs, it's going to be cool, but I think that audience is very small, which is fine. Which is perfectly fine.
That's cool though.
Dragon Quest Treasures coming December 9th. For you, Jacob, do you know what this game is?
No, I really don't.
Okay, there's
Jeff, we need to like stop focusing in on every single game. We have a lot of things to talk about.
All right. I'm just saying this is like a little prequel thing with Eric from 11 and his sister.
Oh, that's fun.
A little different gameplay. You can kind of befriend monsters and go to a world, collect treasure, yada yada yada. Captain Velvet Meteor, the Jump Plus Dimensions. The only thing I wanted to point out for this with a montage is Lloyd Forger from Spy Family was featured in this, and I was like, what?
What?
So yeah, moving on. Harvestella, new Square thing. It is JRPG normal shit mixed with Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon shit.
It did look neat. It's
Yeah.
not my type of thing, but it looked like
we
it,
get a lot of
it could be
these.
so.
I feel like we get a lot of these, but this looks like the most polished
Oh, for
and the
sure.
most budget behind it. So
It looks like Rune Factory, but better.
yeah.
You know?
So I hope it's good and everything, and people like it.
But yeah, I was impressed with it.
Yeah.
I thought it looks neat.
Portal, Shadow Drop, let's go. Gonna download it at some point.
Everyone,
Portal.
if you've not played that, go play.
Don't touch that cake.
And the big final announcement: Persona finally coming to Switch. Persona 5 Royal is coming October 21st.
Only like 4 years later than it seems. Because you go back and watch our reactions to Joker, we're like, well, obviously it's coming to Switch.
What was like the joke?
Half
It's
a
like
decade later.
Yeah, it's like Persona fans can finally play Persona.
Yeah. Persona 5 fans can finally play their favorite game.
Well, it's like now everyone has bought the game twice, waiting for it to come to Switch. They bought it and then bought Royal, and it's like now it's like, all right, fuck you, Nintendo, and then, but people are still gonna buy it.
No, fuck you, Nintendo.
Yeah, no,
no,
sorry,
fuck you,
Atlas. Sorry, yeah, fuck you, Atlas. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not getting Royal because I already played it on my fucking PS4, but I will get 4 and 3 because I have not completed those.
Yeah.
Why would I not do it on that?
Just the procedurally generated dungeons. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
That stuff scares me.
Moving on to Sony Ponyland. Let's talk about God of War Ragnarok.
Boy.
Boy, I said boy. Finally got that release date. Sorry, Will. Too late for the bet. Because it got delayed from last week. It is coming November 9th to PS4 and PS5. Just a reminder, it is cross-gen. I'm sorry, everyone.
Get your pitch.
Well, they can't get the. No one can buy a PS5. They kind of have to make these big games.
That decision was made way before that.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, yeah.
I'm playing on my PS4. You're playing it on my PS5 probably.
Yes.
Does everyone know that Jeff has a PS5? Like,
Now everyone knows.
Jeff,
Everyone's gonna come for you.
They're gonna come kill me.
No, it's like the only game I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Well, Overwatch too. I guess whenever the actual launch of that. But yeah, no, I'm stoked for this November. It just sounds good. It sounds like a good holiday. Get in with Kratos and see what his shenanigans.
November, Thanksgiving's about family.
Yeah, how's it going with the boy?
I do think it's kind of lame. They just kind of announced this with a 30-second CG trailer. Like, you can show up more of the game, But I guess they're saving that.
At this point, I don't want to see it. Like, I know I'm gonna play this damn game. Why do I need to see any more of it? Like, just wake me up when it's
September
out.
ends.
Yeah, and when September ends.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to go back to sleep after September ends. Damn.
Yeah. Excited. It may, at least the Goaty talks will be more interesting now. It won't just.
Do you think
Maybe
you're
next
gonna
week.
play Ragnarok? I know you played the
2018.
2018 one. I remember you liking it at least. But
Yeah, I'll probably. I might play it. Not when it comes out, but I'll probably play it a year later.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
When the conversation is dead and gone.
I have a few games. I don't play many games a year anymore, but this is definitely gonna be a day oneer because it's gonna be all that people I'm going to get spoiled if I did not play it, and I want to play it. So yeah.
It was fun to throw that axe.
I'll be praying for some Jeff night shifts so I can get in there at the PS5.
How could you do that to me? Selfish bastard.
You can play during the day.
Ooh, well, God of War Ragnarok is obviously one of the biggest games this year, but one of the biggest games next year. Final Fantasy 16.
Indeed. Big old summons.
Yep. Finally,
boy.
we got a trailer a little bit ago. Unfortunately, not coming out this year like we were hoping. But yeah, since then, Naoki Yoshida, the director, producer, whatever the fuck, gave some interviews and gave some new information. So let's go through and see how we feel about this shit. It will not be open world, but open zones. Yeah, sure, fine.
Yep. No, that's better. That's what I want.
I haven't played 15, but I've heard a lot of people talk about 15, and the open world was not one of the best things for a lot of people.
Just because it's big and interconnected doesn't mean it's filled with cool stuff. And this is supposed to be a huge globe-trotting thing, so it's hard to do that in a Elden Ring style open world.
Yeah.
It's how all the different biomes and everything make sense of. I think big open zones is fine. That's what I want 7 Remake to be too. So
Yeah. Party members will be AI controlled. Will come and go depending on story.
Again, as someone who is somewhat mourning the kind of normal Final Fantasy design. I mean, the Final Fantasy design changes all the time, but
Traditional.
I think that's kind of lame. I like having a party, and doing all the different movesets and stuff. But
Because they're you can probably do a lot with it. I'll just skip to this one. On on combat. This is a quote from Yoshida. The Kingdom Hearts team at Square Enix has been especially helpful in contributing to those real-time combat and boss battles. It can be said that the battles in FF16 are in some ways a culmination of the company's past experiences. I think there was also one interview where he mentioned, as far as JRPG goes, Kingdom Hearts is like one of the only series that did real-time combat right. Throwing shade at all the other ones.
Nice.
So I know some people are like, ew, Kingdom Hearts, but I mean, just real talk, as far as, at least from the JRPG side for real-time action combat, Kingdom Hearts is the best. I know I'm biased as fuck, but at the higher level, it's just... And even at the higher difficulties and some of those boss battles, it's like, it's unmatched. And I think, as far as potentially for you, Darby, as far as you potentially like it, because I know you mentioned the hack and slash thing. I know this will kind of be in it, but maybe just having more of the JRPG elements in there from a Kingdom Hearts and less of a Devil May Cry could be at least some of a difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll like the vibe of the game and more or less the story and everything. It's just, I don't know, just that type of gameplay is just not necessarily my thing. And I went into this like the last episode, so I'll go super high into it. It was just, the biggest thing is like Final Fantasy already was not a very traditional thing. It was like the difference between Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest is like Final Fantasy took this like kind of strategy JRPG type thing, but it had a very different twist on it every single time. It sometimes worked, sometimes didn't, but they zigged when everyone else zagged a lot of times. And I just feel like hack and slash games, we have those. We have people doing different takes on those all the time. We don't really have many people doing takes on like kind of turn-based, turn-based blended with action, what Final Fantasy was doing. I feel like when we lose Final Fantasy, I feel like we kind of lose that entirely. Whereas what 16 is shaping out to be kind of feels like something we already have. That's basically, where my somewhat disappointment comes from. But I'm not like completely crestfallen. It just might not be for me.
Well, as far as like mainly boss battles, there'll be numerous Akon, aka the summon battles, throughout the story, and they will be pretty different from each other. Quote, for example, while one of these battles is reminiscent of a 3D shooting game, another feels like a pro wrestling match, while another, like the one with Titan, incorporates an entire area as the battlefield. And they did mention, I'm blanking on the main character's names, like Clive or Cliff or some bullshit like that, that since you just play as him, you'll be fighting the Akons. He can turn into the summons, but as well, you'll be fighting the Akons as your normal human body.
I want to pile drive and Frit. Jump off
but
the
you are a Frit.
Oh, Clyde has a chair.
I think that's gonna be an interesting thing is they kind of hinted at it is you're beating these Icon and you pretty much like get their abilities. So I'm curious like how that will influence your actual combat. Like it may
Kaiju Bell.
Yeah, that seems really exciting.
Yeah.
It
might change like styles and classes and stuff throughout the game. That might be how they
That's definitely the coolest thing about that trailer was just like these gigantic summons just fighting and all the people are like just collateral. That's pretty crazy.
Alrighty. This is one of those things that'll just probably be a little quick thing. So Ubisoft. We all love Ubisoft here, right? Yeah.
I guess
Far Cry 3 was cool.
that was a good game.
Yeah.
I like Mario Plus
They
Rabbids.
should never have made another one.
No. Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3, that's good.
Yep. They've announced the presentations. Well, as it's recording the day after, we're getting a Skull and Bones gameplay reveal because they legally have to release it this year.
Not a joke. They literally there's a government.
Oh god, government mandate.
It was like I forgot the whole story, but there's some government
Like,
that
is it Portugal? Is that
it's
like
something like
yeah.
that they
got money from or some shit. Like they legally have to release this.
They got money from there because they were like modeling something after. There was some agreement there, and then the game was going completely south. But part of their agreement was like they had to release this game, so they literally
and the time limit is apparently this year, so it has to come out.
Ubisoft needs to drop Skull and Bones before Portugal invades France. It starts World War III.
So,
oh my god!
And that is very funny, and I can't help but be curious. So we'll see how that goes.
If the game is even like a 6, it's like parade the streets for that team. It's like holy shit, what y'all accomplished.
They also announced the Ubisoft Forward from September 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can bet we will not react to that. we will talk about it, I guess, in a podcast.
Easy allies, Don Casanova. That's all I want to see. That's
Yeah.
the only man I care.
Well, they mentioned for the Ubisoft 4, they're going to be new announcements and look for the games. One of them, which I guess we'll talk about a little later when we get through the game, list of games, is that Avatar game they announced forever ago. That is also apparently coming out this year. We need to see what that's about. Based on everything I'm hearing, it's pretty much Far Cry with blue people.
With blue people. I mean, what? That is the move, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe get a little more Mario plus Rabbids. Also something very important. This is probably one of your bets, but I mean you still got it right. But wait, no, I wasn't doing a forward. They did say Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. Very important.
But not during an event.
Not doing a Ubisoft forward, so I don't even need to look back to see when that was technically said. So yeah. Moving on.
Now I just picture Voss as a Navi.
Yeah.
And I told you the definition of it.
It's when you fuck with your hair. That's what he said, right? Yeah. We like Atlus here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can be more emphatic about that one, yeah.
How would you like them being made into live action things like movies or TV shows? Probably by Americans.
Nah, I'll take a pass on that.
Yeah.
Usually.
No thanks, Jeff. Tell him no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather you.
Well,
not.
Tell him
they haven't made any agreements per se yet, but they are looking. And they mention Atlus in particular, and particularly Persona.
I mean,
So get ready for your. I don't know who's popular. Zack Snyder Persona.
I mean, I legitimately think video games are the next like superhero action movie thing or whatever. I think we're gonna slowly watch like things that we never in a million years would have thought get live action things are gonna get live action things. So get ready. Catherine live action.
So not related to video games.
CW's Persona. Get ready.
No. God, you just paid
you
me.
know it's gonna happen.
You just stabbed me in the chest.
From the
with it.
makers of Riverdale. Come.
CW's going under. They don't have the money for this.
I can't wait for one of them to be terrible but really popular.
Yeah.
It's just like absolutely god awful, but everyone loves it. Like all the normies.
Well,
love it.
I need to know, Jacob, when it comes out, will you join us in watching the live action One Piece show?
Oh, it's gonna be a beautiful trash fire.
I will
Yeah.
watch at least an episode.
Okay, thank you.
I can promise you that.
Okay. You can watch me
You
cry.
gotta see that boy stretch.
Yes.
Other news.
Other news.
Got a couple things. Forspoken. Delayed until January 24th. And I got a statement here for y'all.
Corpo speak incoming.
I'm just going to read the first part of it. As a result of ongoing discussions with key partners, we have made the strategic decision to move the launch date of Forspoken to January 24th, 2023. All game elements are now complete and development is in its final polishing phase. So,
What do you have to do to become a key partner? What differentiates a partner from a key partner?
having a platform, literally having
Being
a
Sony or
console,
Microsoft.
yeah, or Nintendo. So yeah, because this was literally announced, I think within the hour after God of War's date announcement. I think there's a pretty decent chance Sony's like, hey, we're releasing God of War around that time, so you should move Forspoken for the good of us both, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like
So they
the
did.
Big stack of money to Square Enix man.
Because Forspoken is console exclusive to PlayStation, so it makes sense from Sony. It's like, yeah, we'd rather have this later because we're putting a lot of money behind this too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it'll be. I think the game will have the same, like, life or whatever, whether it releases then or later. I mean, I think the game looks kind of cool. I mean, I have like somewhat,
Yeah.
somewhat high hopes, but
Yeah, I guess if you're, I don't know, Johnny who buys like, 2 PlayStation games.
yeah, it's just there is no good time for me. I mean, I'm sure they moved to January. It looks good now. I'm sure by the time it comes out, it's gonna be right next to fucking RE4. I don't know what the hell.
RE4 is in March.
Okay, I forgot.
Dead Space is in January.
Dead
though.
Space.
But they're very different. So
Yeah. Huh.
My Hero Ultra Rumble coming to the West. Beta happening soon. People who don't know what that is, it is the My Hero Academia Battle Royale.
I'm sure it'll be
It's
great.
going to be trash. But it's free to play, so we will play it at least once.
Yeah.
Lollipop Chainsaw remake.
Who asked for this?
Absolutely no one. Coming next year.
Jacob wants
Who are
names.
you?
Jacob wants
You
names.
should be ashamed.
So you know what the funny thing is, Jacob? James Gunn and Suda51 have both come out and said they have nothing to do with this.
Oh God, that's no. It's like Grasshopper's awesome, but like,
Grasshopper also is apparently not involved.
oh, yeah, run away. Whoever whoever asked for this, like monkey paw, just curls.
Jacob is very disappointed in you.
Yeah. I
There's
don't know-
such a thing
I
as
don't know-
too horny.
Yeah, I don't know what magic you did to like will a Lollipop Chainsaw remake into existence, but like, whatever you did, you messed up.
I mean, they're just looking in the trash bin of old IPs at this point. They're like, what do we have? Lollipop Chainsaw, that's the best we got.
But a remake.
Yeah.
Not a remaster. A
God.
fucking remake. Okay, yeah. Sea of Stars delayed to 2023. Take your time.
Yeah.
I think most people saw this coming. Just because it looks very ambitious it looks very good. They're a small team, yada yada yada. We will be here when you're ready. Sucker Punch confirms absolutely no one is working on Infamous or Sly Cooper.
Fuck.
No one, like not even there. Not there's like it'll like look at me.
Not-
It will
No one.
Not us, not another studio. No one is working on these beloved IP.
Hey, what are you working on? And then like Sly Cooper, like fuck that, and just put it like right in the trash bin. Like, no.
We make Japanese samurai games now. Sad shit.
Yeah, it's
Lord.
that day.
He was literally like lost at sea at the last one they made. He's just forever lost at sea now.
I feel like
It's
they're gonna-
fresh. It's-
Like Sucker Punch is going to put a PR statement like, yeah, Sly Cooper drowned at sea like 10 years ago.
Well, the sad thing is about this, like,
there was no funeral.
Yeah, we never found the body.
well, the sad thing is, I didn't really think about it until kind of later on, like, kind of pretty much we were doing this podcast and everything, and think about it. Sucker Punch is one of the few like development teams where I played like all their games for about a 15 to 20 year span until Ghost of Tsushima came out. It's like,
It was Naughty Dog for me.
yeah, and it's like, man, I don't really have much interest in this game because it's just Assassin's Creed with samurai, which is kind of cool, but I don't care
Because
for that
it's
kind of
not
open
Sly
world.
Cooper, so who cares?
Or Infamous.
Sure.
Hey, they didn't even make.
Zeke sucks.
Hey,
Zeke
Zeke
sucks.
is a treasure.
Zeke is fucking terrible. I stopped that game because of Zeke.
But they didn't even make the last Sly Cooper, and it was great. So we don't even need them.
Yeah,
to
we
do
know.
that.
We don't need them.
We just want it to be made.
I would gladly, yeah, just anyone, just someone make it.
Main topic time. Main topic. Yep, we're doing our bi-yearly thing where we look at the upcoming half of the year. All the games. We're going to go through them one by one. Every single game ever coming out. Not really.
Every single one.
Yep. We're just going to talk about like our personal hype levels
You
for
mean
them.
including all the Steam hentai games? Are we going through all of them?
Every
Especially
single
those. In great detail. Yeah, go through them. See hype levels. Whether we think it will be a success or not. I mean, yeah. Some will take more time than others. Let's go for it.
They're all winners. Everything's selling this year.
True.
Sell.
Let's start July. I have the platforms listed here. Don't worry, I'm not going to read them all. That's just what I copy and pasted.
Everything.
Yep. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series coming July 8th.
This did look very good, like very
I
nice.
want
Like,
it.
yeah,
I do want
it's like a
this.
2D. I mean, not 2D, PS2 era 3D platformer, but it's like it looks very fixed up.
A lot
and
of-
everything.
yeah.
It looks.
Got some polish on it.
Yep.
I
Coming
think
on-
I played one of. I think I played Klonoa 2 back in the day,
yeah.
but I don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
people have been clamoring for Klonoa revival for fucking years, so I'm happy for those people. I'm interested in playing this because this is obviously my kind of
I
shit.
think I'll
It's on
probably
everything.
get this on the Switch as long as there's not like real bad issues or something.
Yeah, we should definitely hear if there is. But yeah, Escape Academy was like a pretty cool game. Going through, learning about escape rooms and all that kind of shit.
Oh, that
do
one.
like
Yeah,
escaping.
yeah. This does look like kind of
I
neat.
think
I
it's
mean,
gonna be on Game Pass. I might be wrong.
I don't know if we'll ever like if you actually had a group of people who could like really go through it or whatever, I feel like it could be really fun. You know, it's like I feel like you probably need to have a group of your own friends. You know,
I'm just gonna say this. This is
But
unrelated
everyone has
to
to buy
video
it, so-
games. But I'm just gonna say it while it's on my mind. If Jacob is interested, we should go to the final door, the
We
escape
should,
room place here.
We
Why
should.
you are here?
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Meaning to do that with friends in general, but
Why,
yeah.
making plans on the podcast. Like,
Yeah, I think with Escape Academy though, like the makers wanted to make like a real escape room, and then they couldn't because of COVID. And they're like, well, we'll just make a video game instead.
that's funny.
Yeah, I
that's
do
what
think I remember this hearing. Yeah, they have experience making a real
Yeah.
escape room, so
It looks and sounds cool, and everyone who played it like in the Summer Game Fest thing together had a really good time and everything. It's just like replicating that's going to be hard because you need all your friends to buy this game, right? I mean,
I can't remember as far as that stuff goes.
but if you do, that's kind of the harder part of it. But I wonder if it's something they're going to keep adding, like escape, like new stuff to it or something. If you know, I don't know.
I don't know. We will find out. As Dusk Falls, July 19th. Remember which one this is?
Is this like that
definitely heard
narrative game?
Yes, with
where
the
it's like a cop. And
Oh
like,
yeah,
a
that's like
murder or
visual
something.
novel-y, but it's kind of a weird art style.
yeah. I think it's
where
one of the
like-
things you can pick different characters and shit and kind of do stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of.
yeah, apparently like co-op, like a multiplayer
Yeah.
component to it, which is weird. Yeah, it looks weird. I'm interested to see like streamers play it or like
And I believe on Game Pass.
yeah,
Always very important.
interested, but
Yeah. Stray also coming July 19th. Finally, kitty game
yeah.
after all
Yeah.
these years.
This is one. I
Looking
mean,
good.
I'm not like completely day one. I want to see some reviews and everything, but like I've been very into the vibe of everything I'm seeing. Like the biggest thing is I just hope that like I imagine it's primarily almost like a puzzle game. I just am interested to see like what that is. Like that there might be like some combat, but it looks like for the most part you are navigating the environment, trying to figure out things out. So gameplay basically is I'm like somewhat. I just want to see.
Yeah.
But like the look and the vibe and you playing as a cat and just all the like the ways that they're playing around with that, I think looks very cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some hope for this game. Live Alive, July 22nd. I think we said what we need to say. I'm hoping this game is as good as it's kind of looking people hoping it are, and it does well. So we can get kind of more of these remakes and everything, and they just need to go ahead and talk about Dragon Quest III remake already. That's all I'm getting at. Okay, we're getting into some big boys for the next couple. Digimon Survive, July 29th. Guys, it is happening.
It's
After
real.
all these years of it being on my literally every single one of my anticipation lists for the year. Every year we've done it on this podcast. It is finally coming out.
A real video game.
It is a game that exists.
exists.
People have now played it because there was a demo at Anime Expo.
Nice. I really hope after all this time it's satisfying for you, Jeff. I really hope it comes together.
I hope so. I have faith in it just because when it like my fear was when I heard that development teams have changed that it was going to just change the core what it is, but it just looks this. Yeah, I mean, it's depending how you look at it, this could be bad. The same as when they announced it. It is what I wanted from it. Maybe the percentage of visual novel to the actual strategy RPG gameplay might be, not exactly ideal, but I guess we'll see when I get in there. But I am excited. But unfortunately, despite how long I've been waiting for this game, on the same day, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Why they do this to you, Joe?
Just don't sleep. Just give it up.
You're right. If I don't sleep, I can finish Xenoblade in 10 days.
God.
Not quite that much, but
Don't test him. He'll do it.
Yeah.
But I am very excited. I figured I can talk about it a little bit here. I had a news thing for the direct, but figured cut that. I can just talk about it here
You
briefly.
can go watch his actual live reaction.
True,
to it
I
as
did
well.
do that. This game just legitimately just seems like the best of the other main Xenoblade games, just kind of mushed all into one. As far as like combat and the far of the story, it's like character designs.
Well, it literally is the two mushed into one.
It is.
The actual world is the
That's
two
good.
worlds colliding.
Spoilers.
Nintendo spoiled that out.
Spoilers for every trailer that exists for this game.
Yeah. That's kind of why I'm excited for this. Like, this has potential to it'd be interesting to rank them like Xenoblade Chronicles after playing it, one of my favorite JRPGs ever at this point. And I love Xenoblade 2 as well. So I do think in a lot of ways this has the potential to surpass those games, just because Monolith is just the best in the biz, taking what they learned for all these games and taking the best of it. Like, the combat, again, just seems to be the best of both games just mushed into one. And with the class system and everything, and the hero, like, 7-party member thing all sounds really cool. I'm a sucker for the Ouroboros type shit, which, Jacob, you've seen. It's 6 party members, and they're each in, like, pairs, male, female pairs, and they, like, combine into this giant, like, alien mech-looking thing.
Oh, like Power Rangers.
Yeah, and they each have, like... Each pair has 2 versions depending on who's in charge.
Who's the dominant?
Who's the dominant one tonight?
Mm-hmm.
And
is it like, what's that? What was that anime? With
Darling in the Franxx.
Is it like Darling in the Franxx?
That's immediately what I thought about too.
not as inherently immediately sexual. Where Darling in the Franxx, I guess you watched it.
No.
Literally inside the mechs. The girls were like in doggy style position with the controls on their backs. Like, did not try to hide this.
It ain't subtle. It ain't subtle.
It was also trash.
That's symbolism.
I don't care how popular it was trash. What I watched. Yep. Yeah, very excited for this game. Yeah, I think as far as games that potentially top Elden Ring for GOTY for me, this is probably the most likely one.
Yeah, for sure.
But then also one that could be high on my list, and probably Darby's, Multiverses. Coming out sometime in July. At least the open beta, which I'm just going to consider the launch.
Yeah, this is definitely the surprise one for this year. Whatever. Never would have thought that this is a game that would be happening. And just like, it's seems surprisingly like really, really good. I mean, I think this game definitely has... This game's going to live and die off of the support and everything, and how the free-to-play model and everything works, and just like how all of that stuff works for it going forward. But as far as like a Smash-like game or whatever, this is like by far, I think, the most promising one. And it's the only one that can like really compete roster-wise, because they have proven they'll put anything in this game.
I can't remember if we mentioned it during the betting special, but Jacob, have you heard of the characters that potentially involved?
I know it's like, I don't know.
I'm not going to go for like a long list, but they announced Iron Giant as like officially the lat.
Right.
And also the leaked next character is LeBron James. Just give you an idea how crazy they're going with it.
Yeah. But isn't it like, it's like a bunch of like Hanna-Barbera, like...
Yeah, that's going to be in there. Cartoon Network, Game of Thrones, DC Comics, Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, if you think about the thing with Smash Bros, it's like, I mean, the game is also like immaculately made and balanced and everything, but like another big pillar of it was just the hype of like who's going to be announced, and it's like the
fan service.
It could be from so many different, such a wide net of things it could be from, so it was always hype whenever that happened. I'm not saying anything is ever going to recapture just quite the cultural cachet that Smash had, but like, this is like, to do one of these, you got to be a big IP holder, and that's a pretty damn big IP holder. It's like they could keep doing this for years and still have me and Jeff like going, wait, what? Like, what?
Well, and they mentioned like straight up on like their official Discord and stuff, the reason it's called Multiverses and not WB Fighters is because it may
they're
not just have and in the files, people, I mean, this is like early stuff, so it may not happen, have found a model for 11 from Stranger Things.
Oh, God.
Nice.
So,
I hope
it might get crazy.
I hope it just becomes like Fortnite levels of like, fuck it. If a company says yes, we're going to put them in there. It's like,
I think we're crazy with the WBs, at least IP for a while, because there's just so much there I love. But at some point, bust the doors and go crazy. Cult of the Lamb coming August 11th. This game also looks very good.
It does.
I was about to say jolly. In some ways it looks jolly, but some ways scary.
It's spoopy.
Yeah, it's
there's a jolly vibe, kind of.
And there's a demo out, and from what I've seen, things are positive. So hopefully, it lives up to that.
Yeah, it seems like roguelike mixed with like sim Animal Crossing type stuff, which is an interesting combo of things.
Oh, and I think you can name the villagers, so you can I can name one Darby and then sacrifice them on an altar.
As you should, yes. Please sacrifice me.
I would.
Repeatedly.
For good harvest.
Joke's on you, I'm into that.
Damn. Fine, you're the only one not sacrificed.
Light me up, fam.
Marvel Spider-Man for PC, August 12th. I normally don't put these things here, but this is a big fucking deal.
Whoa, they're making a Spider-Man game?
Whoa. Yep, Spider-Man PS4 is getting ported. I think this is the one where it's like, okay, yep, Sony's just no games off the table for Sony now for
Except
PC.
For Bloodborne.
Now I want to play the Batman mod. I want to play. I don't know.
The nude mod.
Obviously. The
Yeah,
nude
yeah.
mod, just I want that thing flapping. As you're swinging through the.
No, not Spider-Man, Dr. Ock.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, wait, no.
ending scene on the.
Okay, I got an idea. I want you guys to let me know what you think of this. You turn his tentacles into flesh tentacles.
Oh no!
You like the idea,
Yeah,
Jacob?
yeah,
Okay,
Mine
good.
was good
Well, he
working.
also has to be Thomas the Tank Engine at some point. No, imagine the Sinister Six fight, but they're all naked. Well, you're fighting all of them on top of the tower and everything, and they're all just naked. Yeah,
They're all Shrek.
Yeah.
both. They're all naked and they're all Shrek.
The Sinister Shreks.
Oh, we've gone too far.
RPG Time, The Legend of Rank, coming August 18th. Talked about that. Saints Row, August 23rd.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Saints Row catches on again like it did before. It's coming out at a very different time. I enjoyed Saints Row the Third when I played it. I'm sure if I played it now, I would be cringing into the sea. I'm sure a lot of the humor probably does not hold up
What you talking
to
about?
just me being an older person and just culturally. But I am they're goofy fun games, so I want to like it. I just
Yeah, it's just
don't
gonna-
have a ton of faith, but I want to I don't know.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like a Borderlands situation where it's like maybe this should have stayed in 2012.
I'm a little worried about that.
It seems like
There's some reasons to be they're going for a kind of different tone. I mean,
yeah. It's like they're kind of changing it, make it more. But so they're keeping the crazy vibe, but not like the. At least based on what we've seen, the crazy cringy vibe, like the stuff that would be cringy nowadays.
Right. I hope it just also doesn't feel sterile, or this is what the kids like, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance it could be fun.
Pac-Man World Repack coming August 26th. Like I said, I'm in. Let's go. Soul Hackers 2, also on August 26th. Does do anything for you, Jacob?
I want to play Soul Hackers 1. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Soul Hackers 1 has this really cool late 90s cyberpunk vibe. You have designs by, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who did all the artwork for the old Atlus games. And this just looks kind of I don't know, bland anime,
Normal, what would you expect for a
JRPG,
generic
yeah.
anime at this point? Yeah, that's fair.
So, not really looking forward to it.
Fair.
Cool name. Soul Hackers.
Destroy All Humans 2, Reprobed, August 30th.
There's the same treatment the first one had, basically.
Pretty much, yeah, just the remake of 2.
Yeah.
Good times.
Also, same thing as Saints Row. Really enjoyed them back in the day. I don't know, but I think they'd still be fun now. But
Yeah, it's kind of get on the mindset of just going around and fuck shit up for a bit.
yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not full price worth it, but if you get it cheap, it's it'd be fun for a few hours.
Do you have any interest in getting Soul Hackers too, Jeff?
Not particularly, no. I mean, I got Shin Megami Tensei 4 I need to play.
No, yeah.
Fair enough.
I got that sitting in my room, so I need to get to that at some point before I even think about another Atlus JRPG. That's not Persona 6.
Fair.
Tinykin, August 30th. Let's go. I'm excited for this game. Do you
Yeah, what is this?
it is, I'll just pull it up while I am talking. It is like a Pikmin-esque game, but it's you're a kid that got shrunk, and you have these little Tinykin guys that you're using to explore the room and solve puzzles and stuff. And the art style is just kind of really cool because it's one of those things where the characters are just kind of flat paper looking things. You're just kind of moving around. Yeah, this is it right here. Yeah.
I think it looks familiar.
Yeah.
No, this
Okay,
looks,
I do remember.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. Yeah, something that's right up my alley.
Yeah, I like the art style.
Yep.
atmosphere. Yeah, like
And just every time I see it, just like the way the room looks and everything you can go on and do and this stuff just looks really cool. Like, you know, you just do stuff and open things up. It's like a bug cafe or some shit.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, you go in the guitar and yep.
Yeah, I like that the main guy and the Tinykins are like 2D while everything else is like a
It is weird.
like
yeah,
a-
like it's
like a Toy
odd.
Story 1
Yeah.
like 3D kind of look.
No, yeah, I'm very curious. This is one of those, if I hear good things, I probably would just go ahead and jump on it because this is so my shit. The Lord of the Rings Gollum, September 1st. And I know what you're thinking. This is coming out that soon when we've seen next to nothing about this game, I feel like.
What do you need to know? You're just gonna be Gollum,
Gollum, baby.
fucking shit up.
Gollum. Gollum with his shades on, smoking a blunt, running from the cops. You know, Gollum.
Put Gollum in Saints Row.
Yeah.
Don't have much faith in this game, to be honest.
Who is it being made by someone special, you know, or something? 'Cause yeah, we just literally just don't know.
I'm halfway expecting to me type this in and then just find a delayed delay announcement that I somehow missed. Apparently not. Yeah.
Gollum, baby.
Dalek Entertainment, known for point and click adventure games.
You know, of all
Sounds
all
great.
the crazy magic people and shit in Lord of the Rings, don't you want to play Gollum?
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly who you want to play? Gollum?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with their titles. I'm looking here.
Gollum.
So
I would play a Gollum game made by IO Interactive, and you're having to like sneak around, fucking up people's shit as Gollum. You know, it's like
cackling is really
I mean, you had me at IO Interactive. To be. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, September 2nd.
release on life for that game. That is cool. They're doing a lot. Adding
Though
on to
they're
it.
kind of fucking up by not giving rollback netcode, and the beta netcode was like how it ran was absolute trash.
cool.
Yeah. I am interested in this game just to mess around with, because especially since they seem to revamp the single player mode, so that could be fun for me to mess around with. I'm not getting this day one at $50-$60 whatever. I'll get it on sale because it's a Bamco anime game. By Black Friday, it's gonna be at most $20.
Yeah. They come and they go.
Yep. Same day. Unfortunately, it won't be strong enough to be JoJo, I don't think. Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, I don't know. He might need to move. He might
Yeah.
need to move out of JoJo's way.
Before Dio gets them. I need a Dio mod in Last of Us.
Obviously, talking about Last of Us in any way, just for some reason, just always feels like walking into a minefield. But I think this looks. I think it does look very, very good. I mean, I think, and I probably will play it or whatever. I mean, it's again like you can talk about like should Sony be doing this or whatever. When it's like we don't know the opportunity cost of these things. We don't know who's working on this, what they would be working on. In a vacuum, you can now play Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2 in the style of Last of Us 2, basically. They both look like modern games. And just in a vacuum, I think that is a cool thing. You know, it's like, and like nothing is being lost from the game because it's basically just the same game.
Yeah.
So like now you can show this, especially, I think this is primarily for people who are new to the whole series because now you can just play them both back to back.
Because the HBS show's coming next year.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And there's no sort of like, yeah, it is a PS3 game. You know, it's like you can just play it straight down.
So, Jacob, are you ready for this to beat Elden Ring at the Game Awards? For Cody.
Oh god.
I would scream if that happened.
Jeff could like declare the JoJo game of the year and be like, okay, sure, man. Like, but I mean, could you?
That would be a
imagine?
particular shit show.
You
That
could
was-
bottle that game of rage. Just
God.
Yeah. People were pissed when Part 2 won.
Yeah, if that happened, I would just like walk out of the room, not because I care that much, but just the internet would just explode.
Oh yeah.
Tim. Coming September 6th out of early access, finally.
Wait, what? It hasn't been technically released this whole time.
Nope.
Okay.
Been early access. I have not been playing it because I figured I'd kind of wait till this because I got
There's
it like
so many Pokemon games to play.
that too. But because it didn't really have much in the beginning because it was a very early access game. They said like, you know, very decently early on, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of waiting for content to build up. So I have it. I'll play it once this happens and go through the whole thing. Because I had fun with what I was playing.
Played 3 Pokemon games in 1 year. Holy shit.
Technically 4 if we count Brilliant Diamond.
There we go.
Splatoon 3 coming September 9th. Let's fucking go. Give me the Squid Kids.
Let me
And
splat.
those Octo Kids.
Y'all, I'm about to splat.
When are we going to see more in this game? I want to see those hairy tentacles.
Oh, no. Well,
Yeah.
well, Jeff, do I have some websites for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. Obviously, this game's going to sell a kajillion copies in Japan.
And then,
Everywhere else.
And then like half a kajillion here.
Yeah.
Which is
Only half.
still a lot,
Yeah. So I'm excited. Yeah, just if you pay attention to the games I'm like really excited for, you might notice I'm going to be playing a lot of my Switch for the rest of the year. And also the rest of this year.
Splatoon 3 is really fun and everything. It's just like I'm not going to play it enough to justify getting that full price thing or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I have enough other multiplayer games that I juggle around with like League and Fortnite and Overwatch and stuff. It's like I'm just not going to play it enough. Like if it was cheaper, then maybe, but yeah.
Overwatch 2, October 4th.
Yeah, super excited. Like now that I'm enjoying the beta this much, I think that wait's going to be harder, which is a good thing. I like being excited for Overwatch. I mean, I'm just so morbidly curious to see like player-based numbers, reception, things like that. Because I mean, Overwatch is still a very popular game, but it definitely it hasn't done itself any favors, and it's been like going down in popularity. So like, I mean, this just feels like such a make it or break it. Like, it feels like a huge pivot point for this franchise that either like gets back on the right track or like keeps going down as far as like player base and how people. And it's just like, will people even give it a fucking chance too? It's like there's a lot of things. It's a landmine.
But will people give Marvel's Midnight Suns a chance on October 7th? I'm probably not, because there's too many fucking games.
This game's gonna get a lot of undue hate just because Marvel brings in a big audience.
Plus it has a card system which people really fucking hate for some reason.
I think this game is going to be really, really good, and I think it's even going to sell decently well, and I think it's going to be really well received. But it's like there's always going to be like a weird like thing of hate for it because it's like a Marvel game that wasn't like a third person action adventure game, and they're like, yeah. Because when you get these certain popular things, they just want everything to be
want everything to be the big blockbuster hit.
Yep. But as I've said before, everything they showed from the game, like, this sounds good to me.
It's the damn XCOM devs making a Marvel thing. I think it's cool as shit. Hell, I think it's cool.
Having like a little creative character where you can bond with the heroes. That sounds fun.
And it's like the weirder Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Too,
I think the roster is smart because it gets into the weirder shit, but it also still has some of the normal ones: Wolverine, Spider-Man.
Right. I like that it has a very different tone than any MCU thing we've seen or anything like that. Like it's going into more mystical stuff, which is very much still Marvel. It's just not the Marvel that we see a bunch and everything like that. And,
A Plague Tale Requiem, October 18th. Let's go. I can't remember, Jacob. Have you ever played?
I have not, but this looks cool.
I think you would like it.
Yeah, I definitely.
I played the first one very recently, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's like had I played the first one, I would probably be like into this.
Will she become a rat bender?
Yeah.
It's like Avatar, air, water, fire, and rats.
Yes, give me the rats.
Yep. So yeah, very excited for this. I think this is going to be one of those games that's secretly going to be high on a lot of GOTY lists.
Yeah,
because it's a weird thing where it's kind of like high AA. It feels like budget-wise, at least for the first game, but this game budget-wise needs to be a lot better. And there's just a lot of stuff there that I think a lot of people will get into, and it's on Game Pass, which I think will.
The people that like it are very passionate about it.
Yeah,
and I mean, I can see the word of mouth helping it a lot. And like this could be a somewhat breakout thing for it. I mean, I think it has a ceiling, but I think that ceiling is higher than the first one. So.
2 days later, I'm going to have to try to play a Plague Tale quick, because 2 days later is Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope on October 20th. Don't need to say any more about that. I've said my piece. Let's go. Persona 5 Royal coming out, all the next gen stuff October 21st. We said our step about that. Scorn!
And Survival Atmospheric Adventure.
Game looks gross.
It looks gross as hell.
I think I noticed it was on your list.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like a maybe from me. It's like I feel like everything. It's easy to I feel like fuck up an HR Geiger survival shooter. Like that can go very wrong very quickly. But I feel like this is kind of giving you what you want.
Yeah. Well, good news is it is on Game Pass, so I can give it a try and let you know before you try play it. But I'm interested. Yeah, it looks weird and gross, and fuck it, I'll play it.
Yeah, and
I think Darby and I had mentioned maybe doing like a Halloween stream for it. It's roughly around there.
That's fun.
Why not?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure if I would like it, but I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy it enough, like playing it within a group and everything.
I just wanted to come out so it will stop being all the Microsoft things. Because every time there's a trailer, people are always like, "Ew, nasty."
It's just been in development for so
Forever.
fucking long. I'm very curious to see. I mean, because it looks very impressive, but it is kind of a small team.
Yeah,
thing, right?
I think it's one of those that probably has grown since then. Maybe not to like a giant team, but yeah. I am very interested. Gotham Knights, October 25th. I don't have much hope for this game. Everything they've shown has looked bad.
It's it just looks rough. It looks like it's a year away from release when it's not. It's
the combat. I like Arkham combat and I enjoy Spider-Man combat. I know you guys are. I know Darby, Jacob. I think I remember you're more down on it than I am. But this just looks a lot worse than that.
Oh yeah,
just a worse version of that.
I don't like the Arkham stuff. It's just like a preference thing. This is I don't know if you've seen any of the gameplay, but it's literally even one of his he rolls and locks on from one person to the other, and he just kind of he does one little roll and his model just kind of moves through the ground to the other. I mean, the guys are 10 feet apart, and he does one roll and just kind of it just looks rough.
Ooh, yeah.
And clunky and just not great.
Yep.
And it seems like it was a single player game that they shoved a multiplayer into because it seems like Warner Brothers they just want that for everything nowadays or whatever.
Yeah,
and
as
so
you do.
So it's it's very weird because you can have all the characters there, but they don't show up or something. It's I don't know.
It seems like a hot mess.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a pretty historical for a big superhero game like this. I think it's gonna be a big wet fart.
But we'll have big wet farts in it, but hopefully not big wet fart. High on Life.
A+ transition.
Also on the same day,
Rick and
this
Morty
is a Justin Roiland game people who are not aware.
You could not tell.
So that checks some people in the door and gets other people in the door.
I am in that door.
Oh, I'm in that door too.
Again, Game Pass, day one. Talking guns. Let's go.
Absolutely. I'm just glad it's not VR.
True.
Personally.
Yeah, obviously I still love it, but yeah. Star Ocean, The Divine Force, October 27th. Anime game.
Rough.
Game.
Also rough.
Faces look rough.
Yeah.
The world looks neat, but yeah. Or at least pretty. I don't know how the gameplay will go.
It looks pretty from afar, at least.
Yeah. In a busy October with a niche JRPG franchise, I'm not expecting a crazy much as far as sales potential. But what I do expect to bomb miserably is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, they just can't sell these Call of Duty games, can they?
I don't know why they keep on trying, to be honest.
I'm still there's gonna be a lot of people because I thought this is not a remake.
That's what I heard. It's not a remake.
It's not a remake
of the actual Modern Warfare.
So many people are gonna buy this thinking it's a remake of.
I mean,
because it's the same thing.
I can't remember if we talked about this, but wasn't. I mean, the most recent Modern Warfare wasn't a remake, right? It was. They just used that name again.
I thought it was a remake, though. I don't know. I
don't think it was.
Well, Jeff, in 10 years, we're going to have another Call of
Jeff,
Duty.
I can tell. I mean, something you don't know. Modern Warfare 2 is a different deal. That's everyone's favorite. That is the favorite. I mean, I played all of them through Black Ops 2, and Modern Warfare 2 is my favorite. So it's different. It's different. I mean, the Modern Warfare thing is
it's kind of for expectations for people who are kind of more in the know who buy Call of Duties every year. If the last Modern Warfare with the same name is not a remake of the first one,
I promise you, there's going to be some people walking through Walmart, walking through GameStop that see that and they're like, "Oh shit, and
Oh, absolutely.
not realize what and they might play through the whole thing and still not realize somehow. They'll be like, oh, wow, this is different than I remember.
Resident Evil Reverse.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, no.
October 28th. What do you think, Jacob? Think it's going to do well? Think it's going to be good?
I define good.
Playable.
It will be playable. That is a thing you can play.
We believe in you, Capcom. I like how they announced the release date after all this time, and they just show 5 seconds of footage for it.
They're embarrassed of it.
Oh, yeah.
They're embarrassed of it.
It's like, we promise this, so we're going to release it, but also fuck y'all for making us release it.
definitely.
Something I am excited about, this thing is more exciting, Resident Evil Village, the Winter's expansion, with the, whatever the DLC is called, Roses, whatever.
Yeah. On the
Whatever
same day.
Rose. Yes. That I am very excited for.
Do you ever play 8?
I did play 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good game.
I am
That
excited.
village is spooky.
Indeed.
Some crazy things
Are
going on.
you going to replay it in third person?
Ooh. No.
I just can't
Why?
imagine. It's just that would change the game so much.
Well, it's like they can't even show Ethan Winter's face in the cutscenes. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you doing? You pan the camera around. It's just gonna be like.
Well, I was curious
He
when you
just
felt
hides
because
from-
I mentioned the Derby. From what I've seen online, people are like really excited about this, and some people are like, "Oh, this will just make the game good now." I was like, I cannot go with you.
I'm just interested because like I've seen a lot of Resident Evil 8 and a lot of the horror is built around first person.
Yeah.
Is like you are looking up at big things or you know, it's like, or just things happen to your hands. All this, there's a lot of, I feel like, camera in the first person stuff that's used for the horror in there. I feel like it'll be like a lot less scary and intense in third person. But I don't know.
I have no particular interest in that, but obviously, yeah, DLC I'm in.
Yeah.
I will play that. Harvest Stella, November 4th. Talked about that. Some of the big boys.
I mean, are y'all both excited about like the content of the like with it being Rose and stuff?
I am.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, I might play it. I don't know. I'm not like like more Resident Evil Village because I played it. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I didn't play all the DLC for 7. It's just kind of. But I mean. It could be interesting.
I figure we needed to touch on that. 'Cause that was the thing. That
Did
Jeff,
you
I mean,
play
Jeff, you were super excited. Right?
yeah.
Like,
You mean you didn't play as Joe Baker?
I did play that one. I
Okay,
played
good.
the other one. Yeah.
I mean, that's the one that matters.
Yeah. I did have to pile drive a mold man. So
Very fun in VR.
yeah.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming out November 18th. Let's fucking go. I'm so excited.
hell yeah!
Open world Pokemon. I'm still a little nervous about how that's gonna maybe go, but I'm
They
still gonna
need to
love it.
have a teleportation chest that takes you to Caelid in Pokemon.
True. And dear listeners, you can probably expect a Nuzlocke for this game, or attempted one. We're taking a long time with the current one we're doing, but we're getting there.
Slowly but surely.
Yep. Mainly because of my work schedule, but yeah. Very excited. It's going to be fun. December 2nd, the Callisto Protocol.
Hey, baby.
Heard of Dead Space?
Well, Dead Space went from dead to there's too much Dead Space. There's
now a
Dead
lot
Space
of
all over the place.
We're getting the Dead Space people. So that's on the Dead Space remake back-to-back month.
I do think this looks really cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah, I think the enemy design and just the vibe. I mean, it's straight up doing Dead Space in the modern era, but I think it looks like it's doing a good job of it. Like, I think it looks very good.
Yeah, Darren and I've talked about because it's it's kind of fun, stupid, whatever, like potential goatee talk, the potentially big ones. I feel like if Callisto Protocol is as good as it looks, could be one of those for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I mean, it's not going to be the Elden Rings and the God of Wars and stuff, but I think there's definitely going to be a decent subset of people that's like that's. I mean, I think there's a very big and I think Dead Space does hold a certain type of horror that we maybe don't get a ton of or whatever. I mean, it is kind of survival horror, but I feel like it definitely has a different vibe than like a Resident Evil or a lot of other survival horrors. I mean, it's more the space horror, but also just like the way that you use like stasis and like you have a little bit more control than in like a true like old school Resident Evil like survival horror thing, but you are still kind of powerless to a lot of things. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a very tense game.
Yep.
Yeah.
More thriller than like survival horror, but it's like it's very fun.
Finally coming out after, I don't know when it was announced, but it feels like forever ago. On December 6th, Hello Neighbor 2. Streamers are excited for that revenue.
Does anyone actually play this game outside of streamers? Because it's just like,
I think it's
Clearly
a
they do.
conspiracy. Like,
yeah, I'll watch a
something
streamer
going on.
do this for a little bit. But
The country of Portugal has actually funded Hello Neighbor 2.
Heard it here first. Also, streamers are very excited for, but not really, Dragon Quest Treasures. Yep, talked about that already. Let's move on. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora supposed to be coming out this year.
All right.
Rumors are pointing to it that the date's going to be announced at the Ubisoft Forward for like November or some shit.
I mean, it's probably just gonna be the Ubisoft formula, but with
Oh, I think there've been
knobbies.
screenshots that either been shown or leaked, and yeah, it's looks like it's gonna be Far Cry, but blue people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's literally like they did with some of the
Yeah.
Far Cry games, and it's the same fucking map, but just looks different or whatever.
Yeah.
And it'll probably sell well.
Yeah.
Yep.
God of War, better watch out.
I mean, it might outsell God of War. I mean, who knows?
Oh yeah, I guess part of the ones
gonna be
coming up because
multi-platform.
we're into the ones that don't have dates is, do you think this will come out? Which is a good way to introduce Bayonetta 3.
Not this year. I don't think it's gonna be this year.
Yeah,
I think early next year, though. I don't think it's that far away with the way that they were showing it last time. I feel like could they stop? They didn't show it for so damn long.
And you know what? I'm just going to be honest to be more positive about this. Even if it is delayed, I think there is a chance that it's less, that it's not completely finished, and some of it could be Nintendo like, hey, you can push this. We have enough for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo does have a bunch of their heavy hitters coming up for the rest of this year.
I do think it also still could come out this year.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a chance.
Running out of time to announce it, though, is the only thing, since they didn't have their normal thing. But yeah, we'll see. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
Ooh, I think it's going to be mandatory play. I think there's going to be some story relevant stuff in there for a remake.
And an interview thing did come out, or more details. They apparently have revamped the combat.
Nice. No, I'm really excited. I mean, I know what to expect. I know it's going to have some of the less than great writing that a lot of the Final Fantasy VII compilation had, like post that, after the original game. So I know to it. I know Genesis is gonna, I'm familiar with his vibe.
You mean the best character ever to exist?
Sure. but I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Be a good time. Yeah, especially. And prepare yourselves if there are new scenes at the end for an hour plus long discussion with me and Dari talking about theories based off of 1 minute cutscene.
Absolutely.
We'll fucking do it.
The content you come here for.
I mean, it's probably some of our best content. So yeah.
Some of my favorites.
Dragon Ball The Breakers.
This is the Dead by
like-
Daylight. It's just Dragon
You know
Ball.
about this game?
I thought
Carbon
it was like
copy.
Dragon Ball Pool Edition.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Goku's like breaking,
No, that's next year.
sinking the
Next
8
year.
ball.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, we have made a Dead by Daylight game where someone is playing as like the villains, like Frieza and Cell, Majin Buu and stuff, and everyone else is playing as like normal ass humans trying to survive.
Oh god,
But you can also get items and kind of turn into a Super Saiyan or something.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is neat.
that.
It's gonna come and go.
It's one of those
it's gonna
things
come.
where I'm probably not going to play. If it's free to play, I'll obviously get the friends to play it once and probably never play it again. But I mentioned this when it was announced, happy that they're just doing this because it's a Dragon Ball game with an original idea and not just a fighting game.
This Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
if it's a Dragon Ball game, it's Bandai Namco.
An original idea, he says, when it's a carbon copy of it.
Original idea for Dragon Balls, okay?
Someone storms into the Bandai Namco office like, what if? Here's $1 million idea.
Just someone's been playing a bunch of Dead by Daylight, and he's like, I don't know, just slap sell on it.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
If it was not on iOS and Android, I would definitely be playing it. But it is.
Ghost Simulator 3. It will be silly. And goats will be funny.
It's worth noting there was never a Goat Simulator 2, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Everyone cuts was like, wait, did I miss 2? God of War Ragnarok. Wait, what? Why is it there? It should be whatever. I guess I didn't update this after the fact.
Call it with his pants down.
Oh.
I don't know, but yeah, this is gonna be one of the biggest games of the year. Blah 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 blah. What are you talking about? It's gonna be great.
Gonna crash.
You're right.
Yeah.
Kratos who? Why is he so angry?
Is he gonna kill Odin,
Yeah.
Yes.
or are they gonna become bros? That's the twist.
When does he ever become
just
bros with
gonna
anyone?
hug and just be like, yeah, it's okay.
I'm like,
Baldur,
And then
Yeah.
shithead.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when is that supposed to?
Still supposed to be this year. I guess important to say for like games like that, that just doesn't have a date yet. Is that PlayStation has the marketing rights, so just whenever they decide to do their thing is when that will probably be shown / announced.
Gotcha.
I mean, the game does look very, very good. It looks like the
I hate it for the devs so much.
Yeah.
It looks like the Hogwarts game that you would always dream of, or whatever, where it's like you have so much control over like the social stuff and like choosing your house and like making your character and all that. It's like, I mean, and I'm not gonna hate on anyone who plays it. I may play it, we'll see, whatever. But it's like it sucks that everything that's around it is around it. But life sucks. Everything you try to participate in has some evil root to it somewhere. But it does look very, very good. Yeah, definitely have to say the game looks very good.
But you know what is not tainted and pure? One Piece.
And it's also Hogwarts is gonna sell it crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. One Piece Odyssey post come out this year. Finally saw some gameplay. It looked good. It's Dragon Quest. I'm in.
Yep. I think you might be looking at like one of the first actually good anime like story games.
Yeah.
I think it might happen, Alex. It might actually happen.
Yep.
Or
Me,
Jeff,
Alex.
sorry.
Alex will also be playing.
Alex texted as I was saying that.
Yep.
He heard you.
Oxenfree 2.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I need to get to
ooh.
playing the original. Like I could just
It won't
pick any
take long.
random night. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one.
Honestly, part of me is just waiting for the date to be announced so I can just play it pretty close to the other, so it'll be fresh in my mind and all that shit.
I know but I know you didn't like After Party
Yeah,
very
that game
much.
kind of sucked, but no,
But,
Oxenfree
yeah,
is really good.
More of it. I mean, it was kind of like the tone and stuff you didn't like of that, right? I mean, hopefully if they're going back to Oxenfree, hopefully, it's like,
Yeah, it's. I mean, the Night School Studio, I think, is who makes these games, and yeah, the writing for their last game fell flat. I feel like I feel like the art style also really fell flat, and then I think the way that they tried to do like the conversation mechanic, like also kind of like didn't work with like whatever kind of spin they're trying to put on it. But it does work in Oxenfree, and so I hope with Oxenfree 2 they can kind of be like a redemption arc for them, because
for sure.
yeah. After Party was a really big letdown.
But I completely forgot this game was coming out this year, and like no, so this is like really high on my list too.
So a good thing to point out about potential times to hear about it, usually around September time, I think. Like it's like TGS or some Gamescom or something like that. Nintendo typically has an indie direct around that time. Mm-hmm. Perfect time to get an announcement, release date, or shadow drop for that.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I mean, how much connection you think it's going to have to the first one, or you think it's going to be like kind of a similar like sci-fi thing going on, but it's like a different people on a different island and stuff.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know.
Wait, okay, you guys may know more than this than me, but I feel like I remember this being mentioned, so correct me if I'm wrong. Was it in the trailer for announcing for this game, the girl or whatever for the...
Was she in it?
I thought I remember us mention that being said.
I thought I remember
might
the
be
trailer
wrong.
not having very much in it, but like,
It didn't have much in it, but I think we saw...
You might be right.
Yeah.
It probably does. It probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the subtitle like Lost Signals kind of indicates there's going to be some sort of connection to the first game.
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy either way. I think it could have been cool if it was like a completely different group of kids and everything, but it was like the same thing. There was like some nods, but they could also continue it. And, that worked.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Power World.
Oh gosh, you know
The
this?
memes,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen this.
I am excited to experience this game, whether it's from me playing it or watching other people play it.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be a hard, like, just watch other people play. I feel like it's not gonna be like, it's gonna be funny for about an hour, and then you're gonna be like, why did I pay, I don't know, $40 for this?
I think it's probably gonna, but it'll be a moment.
It'll be a moment.
Yeah.
You can,
Jacob, you underestimate how much fuzzy little creatures, how much I can spend time on those games, no matter the quality.
Even if you're murdering them and enslaving them.
Especially if I'm doing that.
Jeff is just like, he has just like a warehouse, like bootleg Pokemon making AK-47. He's just like, what's better than
Do you know how
this?
many fucking ROM hacks I played?
He has this like complete underground like network
yeah.
of he gets people their fix like these the dark web plushies.
Yeah, is this a multiplayer game or is it just single player?
I can't remember. I honestly don't know.
Can you pal in the world with your friends?
That would be cool.
I hope the
we can enslave them
Yeah,
together.
I'm about to say, I hope the multiplayer is like you actually get enslaved and you have to do the
Oh,
work and
God.
everything. It's like, gosh.
I believe. I also believe in Somerville.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude.
That's cool.
I had to double check because we haven't heard anything in a bit. It's still dated for this year.
I could see that getting pushed, but
Yeah.
but it also could just drop. It could
Yeah,
just
I am here
happen.
whenever it is ready.
I mean, it's some of the best trailers I've seen in a while, as far as like, just the trailer itself. I mean, the game could end up being worse or whatever, but I mean, like the vibes and everything very inside, but not like identical to inside. It's like I like this family, this weird sci-fi. It's gonna be trippy. I'm not gonna understand it, but it's gonna be amazing. I'm super looking forward to it.
And the best game to end on, Sonic Frontiers. I'll reiterate what I said. I think this game's going to suck. Thank you and good night.
Sonic is well on its way to being a movie first character.
Yeah.
That like kids are gonna know him by movies.
Jacob heard me give this feel like, yeah, Sonic is now getting more popular and more liked from the outside stuff because movies are well liked. The comics are fantastic, and there's a Netflix show that's coming out pretty soon, which I hope for. I mean, we haven't seen much from it, but I have no reason to believe that it'll be a trash fire.
Any games that we didn't touch that you wanted to bring up on your list before we go?
Yeah, sure. Immortality looks cool. That is by the team that made Her Story, and I think Telling Lies. So it's going to be an FMV
I was
game,
about to ask if it was FMV.
which is what they excel at. Looks really cool. Looks really weird.
I've never played an FMV game, but I've like, I feel like it could be interesting. Yeah.
Her Story is really good.
Apparently come out in August.
Yes, and Pentiment also looks really cool. It's from Obsidian. That's
that game.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they're able to do weird shit like that.
Yeah, you're it's almost like a medieval painting or like ink drawing, and you're like a journeyman, and it's like a role playing adventure.
Obsidian is kind of, I mean, I know we haven't gotten like too many games, but just from what they've announced and the fact that they announced and releasing this pretty quick, feels like they're coming Microsoft's like Monolith Soft, just frequently releasing shit, working on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, that's about it. No, just System Shock looks cool.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome. That must be this year.
I think it might be this year, but it's probably gonna be next year.
Yeah.
I think it's like unknown.
That would be pretty cool.
But I did like that trailer a whole lot.
Let's see. All right. Yep. That will do it for this podcast. I guess for little tease, you made it this long for the next one. I will have played probably enough of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes to talk about it. Excited to dig more into that one. Edelgard did nothing wrong. As well as Darby and I, and Jacob's joining us for a good bit of the playthrough. The Quarry, hoping to finish that this weekend. And yeah, once we finish that, we will talk about it here. I guess we can just do a little mini spoiler cast if we want to.
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We're gonna kill everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, that is it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.